Now, who is calling me?
Oh,
Hello,
did I put my phone on
Alicia.
vibrate?
Alicia Bernice is in the house.
She's in
Hi.
the house.
I'm gonna see if I.
Hey, everybody.
Well, I'm going. Hello, everyone. I hope everyone is well. I'm going to hand this over to Auntie D,
Okay.
and then we are really going to get into it, Hunty.
Okay. Good afternoon, everybody, and good evening to those getting close to good evening to those of you on Eastern Time. Welcome to Noir Aunties. I'm Auntie D, and this Auntie Love, and our special guest today is Miss Quianna D. Footman, and she is, among other things, the author of Level Up: How to Reclaim Your Dignity as a Single Mother. We are going to be discussing this book and many other things, because as I was talking to these beautiful ladies about our presence here in this room, having the conversation we're about to talk about, really gives the lie to a lot of lies that have been told to Black women and single Black mothers in particular. A lot of absent fathers have a lot of things to say about what we can and cannot do when they ain't there to do that. So just be warned. Like Auntie Love often says, because she is kind enough to host us, this is not safe space. This not gonna be a safe space. Because see, I have to go to this bio and I have to do it in my kind of Baptist preacher ed type of way because my dad. And I was reading through this and I'm like, all these people out there who are just talking mess about Black women who are single mothers, you lying, you lying, you. I'm just reading this and I'm like, y'all, no wonder your channels are getting snatched down, bothering folk. Cause we lost Quianna for
No,
a
no,
minute.
no. She's here.
Okay, okay,
Let me
okay.
let
There we
me
go.
hold on one second. Let me see if I can put myself on the bottom. Hello, everyone.
Hey,
Hello,
welcome
Alicia.
in,
Hello,
welcome in,
Michaela.
welcome in.
Hello, Drew. What's up, kid?
Hey.
Olivia. Nice to see you. Um,
Okay, so she's moving around. Okay,
wait,
got
how
it.
come I didn't move?
Uh, because StreamYard is not ready for this. Okay, StreamYard is not ready for this level of okay.
I'll go. Damn it. It wouldn't let me do it. What the heck? Oh, I
Well,
can't.
I'm guessing because you are the host,
Oh,
and of course
probably. Oh,
StreamYard
yeah.
knows you are the host,
Crap.
it's probably
All
not gonna
right.
let you move around. Um
All right. Crap.
oh yeah, maybe you could make
No,
one of
no,
us
that's not
maybe
working. Ah, still putting me in the thing. Okay, I'm gonna get it. We are so here to celebrate um Kiana. And so I'm sorry, Miss D. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
that's
Technical
okay.
difficulties. Please forgive me, everyone.
That's okay. So we're gonna go through this bio. And what I want y'all to understand, because I know more of you are gonna come in on the replay. As you listen to this, I want you to understand the level to which men who have nothing going for them, who are just irresponsible sperm donors who will drop and run and have no intention of doing anything positive with their lives. I need you to listen to this bio and remember everything that you were told about Black women are this and Black women are that and Black single mothers are this and we're gonna do all this. I need you to listen to this bio. And I need you to understand with every sentence that I read about Miss Quianna D. Footman, that all that's a lie. Because I read this bio and I'm like, I knew I was being lied to, but this is getting a little bit ridiculous. Let me make sure I get all this. Make sure I get it. I've mentioned already that she is the author of Level Up: How to Reclaim Your Dignity as a Single Mother. Understand that you have a right to that dignity. It is yours. Go get it. That's number one. That's what we're mostly going to be talking about today. But I want you to just listen to these accomplishments. Miss Quianna Footman is a licensed cosmetologist, author, and mother of two girls. She shares in her bio that there has been a struggle in her life with self esteem and identity issues. She came to appreciate the power of self actualization, how perfecting one's personal style can aid in achieving it. I want y'all to look at her. Is this not one of the most beautiful women on earth?
Yes.
Look at her.
Yes.
Through her beauty and lifestyle brand, Minx Beauty, Quianna seeks to help others reinvent themselves through their mindset as well as their aesthetic presentation. Having been incredibly introspective since childhood, she is exceedingly comfortable in her own emotional world that devalues them. As Black women, we have so often we're not allowed to have any emotions that are gonna disturb anyone else. And I just have to say personally to you, Quianna, like I said, if I could get your customer service ability so you can let people just talk an absolute fool and not be moved, how you can just check people in just the nicest way. I've learned so much from you personally. There was one particular incident. We may get time, and I'm like, I learned so much from that. I had to make another video about it. The way that you dealt with, now that's across the bound. And let me explain to you why. It was so well done because you are so sitting in your power and not being moved. Back to the bio. By combining her aptitude for emotional literacy with her plethora of creative talents, as well as her tendency to soothe and lower the defenses of anyone she meets, she believes she can do her part to help heal her community by holding space for other women to process and heal themselves. I am a witness. Woman Chat Wednesdays. Blessing is a blessing. Her mantra is, the legacy you live is the legacy you leave. She strives to live up to that ideology daily. Welcome to Noir Aunties, Quianna Footman. And thank you for being here.
I am so glad to be here. When you guys started doing it, I was like, I cannot wait until I can come and talk with you.
This has been full circle for me because your story is so many of our story. And I know Black women, like I said, to be goddess born and preternatural elemental. And you're so just freaking brilliant and amazing. And that it requires courage to just, take the time to write what you've written. Just that, because we're constantly pushed into, okay, now we're a mother, so that's all we are. Now we're this, so that's all we are. Now we're that, so that's all we are. And you just spoke to me. Now, I've read the book a couple of times, and the first time I read it was like a year and a half ago, and I just, girl, tears.
Oh,
just you are amazing. You are amazing, Quianna. And I thank you so much for writing this book. Thank you. I feel like you spoke for me.
Oh, good.
I really do. Thank you. One of the things that I want to make sure that we do tonight is I hope we're able to connect some dots here for everyone, okay? Because there's a lot that goes into being a single Black mother, and being able to hear from you, Quianna, is going to be so imperative to the ways in which we come up with solutions. Because, we're also solution oriented. Yes, we have to look at a problem and diagnose it, but we want to come up with solutions and take action steps in the now, right? So we're not just here to feature you as the most incredible, brilliant, and beautiful and creative woman that you are. We're also here to celebrate you.
Yes.
And this is, your work with single Black mothers is important around the world. Because of the processes that you're starting to put in place in this book, then it can, it can be duplicated by others,
Mhm.
you know.
I hope and pray it is.
Mhm, mhm. I really, I really see that, and how brilliant of you, how creative of you, and that you used your everyday voice, because your voice is so freaking powerful. Um, I need to, show gratitude and appreciation for what you've done and the work that you do. Um, w- the work that you do, whether you're on YouTube, whether you're, you know, on
Mhm.
TikTok, the work that you do is changing people's world for the better. Single Black mothers is changing our world for the better. And I just appreciate you so much, Quianna. Um, I gotta tell you, I I had to talk to my therapist a couple times. Because I had some PTSD moments,
Okay.
and it got real, because the thing about it is, and I want people to get this. My daughter's 24. The baby is
Mhm.
24. My son's 32. I still feel the pain as if I was that
Mhm.
young woman,
Yeah.
you know, and
Can't sit
how,
too long and think too long or too far back because you'll be right back there.
girl, I was.
Mhm.
And even today, I had to like do some of my shout out to Rolanda, my therapist, okay?
Mhm.
Another brilliant black woman, right?
Mhm.
She gave me some techniques when I get into having these flashbacks
Okay.
where you know, I just felt, and you say this so well in the book. I just felt like
Mm.
I'm gonna hang myself off the bed backwards and just let the blood rush to my head. Girl, um, it's visceral. The emotions
Mhm.
are visceral. And I really do think that in order for we as black single mothers to strive to thrive, we need to really look at entering into conscientious matriarchies, because that's really what we
Mhm.
end up doing when we
Yeah.
become single, you know. Um,
Yeah.
and even those of us, some of us married, okay? Because it's my theory that none of these men should be leading. I don't care what they look like. I don't care what their ethnicity or self-identification is.
Listen, I
I
was
just,
raised
yeah.
in a matriarchy of married women. I was raised by
Mhm.
my grandparent, well, my grandmother mainly, but they were married. My grandfather was in the house and he was very kind and a sweet person, but getting older and understanding the dynamics of what needs to be done in a household, like I see certain things as an adult that I didn't quite understand. But everybody loved me, had a bunch of love. It was never any kind of abuse or anything like that. And then I had my great grandmother, which was my grandfather's mother, and she pretty much ran everything. And I had both of my so, but I grew up just feeling like, oh yeah, the women are in charge. The women are in charge.
Because they are.
Hmm.
They
Yeah.
are. You know, I just feel like we're constantly being told, listen, you can't do blah 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 blah.
Hmm.
Shut it. Mm, shut up. Okay, shut up. Go sit your ass down out of my eyesight. Okay, stop talking. You've said enough for the last 404 years, just in 405 years, just in this country. Shut up. you know, and I think that I know my belief is that we are all expressions of the great Black mother and her goddess
Mhm.
sisters, which is why I call us goddess born. And I want to get a little bit deeper into, um, when in your book, we'll go through. We have some questions for you, girl, but we'll
Okay.
go through. And I really want to. I want us to look at um, some of the fears that you brought up. You know,
Okay.
because because so many people are constantly bombarding us with what we need to do. And I don't know how people miss this, but a single Black mother means that I am taking accountability, 360 degrees accountability as both parents. Okay.
365 days a year and sometimes
Mhm.
366, 24/7.
It used to be it's 72 a day, 72 hours in a day. We have to make it 72 hours in a day, as single Black mothers, right? So yeah, you're right. You're right, Auntie D. It's the truth. I always say, it's 25 to life and I'm on death row. I'm always beating mama, you know? And so I'm just I just I want us to see how, and you explain this in the book and we hear it in your bio, how we are able as single Black mothers or Black women period to turn the chaos and people inputting in order to attempt to have us suffer and be in pain, because I need us to stop thinking that, oh, they didn't mean to do that. Oh no, this shit is
Yeah, they
deliberate.
meant it.
Okay, just like I chose my children and you chose your children, Quianna, y'all
Chose
Black
not
men,
to love
yeah,
your own
you made
children.
a
You
choice.
chose it.
Ain't nobody,
You chose it.
girl, you made a whole choice. And so I need us to stop playing these games with, oh, well, you need to do this with Black men or men, period, or blah, blah, blah. Girl, I'm doing that. Stop.
I
Shut the
don't.
hell up.
I figured it out. I figured it out like within this past decade when I recognized, oh, that's work. That's more labor. You want me to labor to be in relationships. You want me to labor to be able to say I have a man. And then what does that benefit me? Like, what am I actually getting out of it? I'm still doing all the stuff I'm doing now, but I also am in a box of having to please you and make sure you're okay. And no, no, thank you. I have too much work to do already. Like, I'm just going to
Mhm.
focus on that.
And you know what? As someone I didn't get married till I was in my 40s, girl. I never thought I'd be married because I can't listen. You need to bend the knee. I don't know about nothing else. I'm not trying to hear that
Yeah,
shit. Okay.
yeah,
Put the money in the bank, bend the knee, because I make all things possible over here. And that's exactly what we
yeah.
do as single Black mothers. We take it all on. So I don't take kindly to motherfuckers having anything to say. You need to, girl. And this whole idea that we don't tell, like it's this is why it's important that I ask the question in my self-confidence class. Who are you and what do you want? Because
Mhm.
hey Tori, I just remember your name is up there. Girl, thanks for coming. Um, who are you and what do you want? Because if we don't explore that within ourselves, then again, we're allowing somebody else to tell us what we want because we
Yeah.
didn't tell them, you know.
Mhm.
And I need to be able to tell. I don't want you treating me. Oh, treat people like you'd want to be. Girl, don't treat me like you want to be treated. I don't know you like that. I'll tell you how I want to be treated. I know exactly who I am, and I know exactly what I want. And though that does evolve over time as I grow, right? It's still. So, you know, the fact that we do all of this while coping with um the realities of covetous, um brutal, cruel, and unusual and violent behaviors
Right.
literally everywhere we go. Literally everywhere we go. So, um, you know, you have been able to embrace being a single black mother, but still be able to study yourself, you know,
Yeah.
still understand that yes, you are raising goddess born daughters, and at the same time, you are still Quianna,
Yeah.
you know? So I I also need us to be very real because you were very real. And so for all of you, everybody in the chat, everybody who'll be seeing this later, whoever, I want us to really get that there are some good black men. Your grandparents sound like my grandparents, right?
Mhm.
Auntie D's mom and dad sound like my grandparents,
Yep.
right?
As to the Mohicans, but they out
Yeah.
there.
So, but I'm not gonna keep qualifying. In fact, I'm not qualifying at all. Oh, there's some good black men, girl. I don't give a shit. You ain't
Right.
doing nothing. You ain't doing nothing to stop this shit. You ain't putting in no work. Okay.
This isn't the
So,
time for that. Like, if we're talking about these experiences, then we have to focus on the ones that are creating these experiences for
mhm,
us. And
yeah,
That's so
so
well said.
that
yeah.
understanding of, like, yes, there are good people, but when I'm telling my story, it's not time to try to detract from what I'm saying to try to
Mhm,
highlight those people.
And see, if that person is a good person,
Hmm.
then they're not trying to detract.
Right.
That's
Right.
a lot of where the good black man conversation goes wrong.
mhm,
Yeah.
mhm,
I just found this meme from Game of Thrones that so many of these men, it's wintertime. So
Hmm.
winter came
It
again.
is.
It's just what it does. It's not a surprise. But it's like one of the older counselors to this very young king says, a man who has to state that he is the king is no true king.
Hmm.
Black men that always have to talk about good black men are not good black men. Period.
mhm,
Because if you are that thing, you are that thing. Everything around you will be manifesting that. Everything
Hmm.
around you will be seen.
yes.
And when someone is in pain and you are a good person, truly, you don't seek to decenter them. You seek
Right.
to support them.
Right.
And so when you're telling your story through in person or through your book, a good man is not going to start fussing with you
Hmm.
about your story because that's yours. A good
Right.
man is not going to be so empty, weak, fragile, and hit dog hollering
Hmm.
that he needs to change the channel because he's a good man, right? He
Right.
ain't got to do all that. So if it doesn't apply, you're supposed to let it fly. But that needs to be said. The other thing is your goodness does not give you chattel power over anybody else. And if you are a good man, you're not asking for it. You being a good black man does not mean you walk up on any black woman and have power. If you're a good man, you know that.
Yeah.
You know, if you are a leader, then someone will actually be choosing to follow you. We ain't putting on no whips and chains. You can't be the overdone, roasted version of Thomas Jefferson. We about 400. We are about 160 years past that. Ain't nobody gonna put you on 500 and leave you up in there. We not trying to do none of that. And you not 6'3" and can't get there. Mad at God because you died. But you good. No, that ain't what we doing over here. Mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
And why there are some chapters in your book I wouldn't leave my flea in the care. Oh, nope, no. Yes, they are good black men. And what they are doing is if they're not actually bending the knee, at least they're being quiet and listening and thinking to themselves, oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know it was that bad. What do I do about it?
Yeah.
And Godspeed to all of them. But we're not going to sit up here and pretend that they're a majority and that they need to dominate conversations that we're in. We're not going to do none of that. Like I said already, in a safe space, you good man, but I suggest you listen and be quiet today.
Yeah. Oh, definitely, because Quianna's one of us, and I take this very personally. So I'm gonna let everybody know in the chat or in the hereafter, not these women, they're all incredible. But anybody who's coming along in the chat or whoever, I won't tolerate her being fucked with. Simple as that. So I suggest you move on with your dumbass shit. Okay? Because I feel like playing with my food today.
Oh,
So let's not
y'all don't want that.
Yeah, let's not do
Y'all don't want none of that.
Yeah, let's not do that. Let's not do that.
No, don't do it.
Like I tell folks, listen, stop, drop, and roll because you're on fire because I just hit it on you. And then get up and run. But then get up and run. Because I hope you can outrun what I'm bringing. Get up and run. Okay? That's all. You bring out some raw truth. And it's imperative that we examine those, Quianna. And that the fact that you, myself, other single black mothers, other black women, period, we will take our pain, our suffering, just like I said, the chaos going on with all the people who are trying to fit us into all these boxes, or we trying to hop out of one to the other, something like that. You took it all and you created. And that is traditional and ancient black womanhood. We create. All the rest of y'all, as far as I'm concerned, you just make up shit. Okay? But we create. So I also want to make sure that we wrap it up, that we talk about solutions, right? And some action steps, and that we need each of you in the chat. If you're seeing this later, we need you to help us with solutions. Okay. Now, Nia, I don't know if I didn't see Nia yet, but Nia said this, and Tori brought this up too. This was a few months ago. I was thinking of another thing for think tank. Okay. But what did I say? Matrilineal genius zone, where we're able to bring what we're genius in to each other, look at the problem, come up with a solution, and come up with the action steps and the timelines. Okay? Because I'm gonna tell y'all, the Legion over there at the Heritage Foundation, they ain't playing. They're not playing. They specifically mentioned Black single mothers are the problem in the United States when it comes to family values. They said it on their little page 4, they 920 page bullshit.
And who are these people?
This is the Heritage Foundation, girl. These are the white women who write that CRT bullshit. They write the playbook for this and that. They got a few white men in there. But girl, it's always, when I tell you, it's always them writing these policies. They've written the histories they want us to learn and all of that crap. Okay. We've known this forever. Okay. But now they just wrote a new one that they want to blow out in 2025. And when I tell you the next page is all about destroying the LGBTQ community, girl.
If you spend so much time trying to break down other, factions or communities, what are you building?
They don't have to. They don't have to, because why? They have women like me and you and Miss D, because we make it all possible. But instead of holding us sacred, protected, and uplifted, all these folks want to do is harness our power. And my answer to that is, you better back up your Kia, Susan. Because ain't nobody doing that shit. Those days are never coming back. But we don't have, as Black women, a plan to counter this. If y'all think they can't do it, they over there in that same 920 pages applauding themselves for getting rid of Roe versus Wade. Huh? So this has an effect on Black single mothers. And I can tell you, you're going to be first, because we the first ones that was mentioned by name. Not Hispanic single mothers, not white Legion single mama, none of Black single mothers.
First mention of Black women is only of us as single mothers.
Yeah. And they don't specify anybody else as a single mother. Okay? So let me tell y'all something. They grandmamas tried it, them daughters of the Confederacy. Now the great grandkids is the Heritage Foundation, and they don't plan on making the same mistakes that they did before. They understand that Black women are power. So, and single Black mothers, most especially, because of the way we're able to create from, like I said, chaos, and make the most beautiful spaces and come up with the most brilliant things for humanity as a whole. So, it's important to me too, again, that we connect those dots. Yeah. And your book really starts this off for us. Hello, Samreen. Good to see you.
I don't know if like Samreen knows who I am or no, but I've seen her around. And then one day I saw she went live and she was just like reading something. And I was just I looked at your page, Samreen. This is a tangent. I looked at your channel and I was just delighted. Like, it's delightful. So I just wanted you to know that I think that your channel is delightful.
It is. It is. Hey, Samreen. Cosign. Good to see you. Well, what Auntie Love just said does lead into our question one. I'm going to put out one further political note. Just because the Heritage Foundation may not get its way in 2025, I need everybody to remember something. The Nazi Party did not get its way in 1923. People went to sleep at the wheel, and they got their way in 1933.
Yeah.
So as we're making you aware that this exists, this does bring us to the point that even if it doesn't happen in 2025, 2030 is right over the hill. 2035 is right over the hill. So once you are aware that people who have chosen to be your adversaries, because we never chose to be in a fight with Europeans like that. And we didn't choose that. We just kind of, were minding our own self business around 1800, and then folks couldn't figure out how to run their country and their economy without our foremothers, and that's how we ended up here. Just understand that, as Love said, the daughters of the American Revolution, the daughters of the Confederacy, and the present crew have never changed their minds. And again, I just put that does not say there are some good white women, but everything I said about good black men, just go ahead and roll. Just change the
Just take
scriptures.
them as they come.
You take them as they come. But again, change the scriptures. If y'all out there, it's not safe space for you either. You need to be quiet and listen also. So just understand, as I prelude this, because I keep pre-blocking folks on my page who keep talking, what about white women? This is your conversation.
I won't say, because mind you, in full disclosure, like I told you about what's been going on with me recently, and like people, though the main people in that space were of the Caucasian persuasion, but however, even before that, I don't know if you saw Deeann, like in my older videos, I was actually conversing with a single mother from the UK, and she was, white, and she was just saying like, oh my God, this is my story. You know what I mean? So
I can see the universality. Yes.
yeah, in where I'm going with it, like in my mind, I want to be there for Black women, and outwardly I am, but they're welcome to. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because it is, the mothers need it and the
Right.
babies need it. So
Right. And as Black women, we always do that. All I'm saying is come correct. That's all I'm
right,
saying.
right.
If you're one of them white women that feels like you need to be bowed down and worshiped, no, sweetheart. Athena and Hera and all them, they lost their empires years ago. And Black women and Amani Renas, Her Majesty Amani Renas, Her Majesty Queen of England. No. Your empire is back there in Europe. It's wintertime. Y'all enjoy that.
yeah.
Don't bring that over here to Black women. We're not saying, it's like Auntie Love has taught us about the Detroit Birthing Center, which is run by Black women, but everyone is welcome. We're not saying that everybody can't come to the table, but understand you don't get to snatch the table. You don't own that. You didn't build it. And again, if you are a good supportive person, then it's okay to listen and learn. There's a lot of time in this conversation. I'm just going to be quiet because both of you have shared experiences I don't have. So even for me, having asked this question, there are certain questions that Love is going to ask. And I'm just going to be here and basically because I need to learn from your perspective. So I'm just saying, we know that there are people that we can minister to in any group of people. We are the mothers of humanity. There is no one that did not come from a Black woman's womb. So of course we know this. Love and I are different religious traditions, but DNA tells us that every person born, every color born, every culture born of the womb of an African woman produced that. So of course we're going to help everybody, but come correct. Because mama can sit you down and feed you, and mama can turn you over and tap that. Y'all know. If you need it explained again, Auntie Love got you. Question one, since we are focusing on Black women today, but with the understanding, because you did mention it, that everybody who comes correct may eventually benefit, but we're talking about Black women today. Question one, what is your overall vision, mission, and services that you provide to Black women and Black girls?
Ooh, okay. So, overall, I want to be like a one-stop shop in terms of self-actualization for single Black mothers. In my experience, you know how they say you need to create what you needed. And so for me, as I've been going through my personal journey, each step of the way, there's always things that stand out to me that I'm just like, I really wish I would have had someone to explain this to me so that I didn't have to take as much time or I didn't struggle in this particular way. And so what I want Level Up Single Mom to be is a network or a hub where a single Black mother can come in at any phase, so you don't have to be destitute and, rock bottom, but you don't necessarily have to be, a billionaire or anything. You could come in at any point and get what you need to get to the next level. So level up single mom, wherever you're at. If you're trying to go to the next level and you don't know how, you can get what you need to make it, and on and on and on.
Okay, and that actually halfway answers question 2, but I will ask it in case there's something else that I was missing there. And then Auntie Love will be back to you for question 3. But
Okay.
what do you feel
Okay.
is the impact? Okay, now of course here we go. The impact of you creating the Level Up Single Mom platform. I mean, I feel like you've actually just answered that, but I just want you to go into detail.
Mhm.
And then of course I am a testimonial about your channel and all those wonderful Women Chat Wednesdays. But tell us more about the Level Up Single Mom platforms, because I know there's the YouTube channel, but there's also some other things, and there's also some other services that you provide.
Yeah, so I have a TikTok, I have an Instagram. Level Up Single Mom actually started on Instagram, but I got to be honest, like once I got on YouTube, I kind of started neglecting Instagram. But that's mainly a thing. It takes a lot of time. Like social media takes a lot of time, and I am a creative person. Like I like to design, the pictures and everything like that. But I think for me, I'm still trying to find my footing of bringing real value as opposed to branding and aesthetic, because it can take a whole lot of time. So I would say for right now, what would help me the most would be to focus on the YouTube, because I can actually monetize YouTube quicker than I would be able to any of the other ones. And then from there, I can be able to get the help that I may need to handle the minutia that, I can get overwhelming, or I'm not sure what I need to do or whatever. So when I get on YouTube, I can just talk. And like I can do that on Instagram, but I feel like I was talking about production value earlier with you guys. I can bring on the examples of what I'm talking about. I can show you clips. I can do slideshows. I can do things on YouTube to bring the value and paint the picture better than I can on any other platform.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much. And like I said, I am witness. We met in the house of Themis, as the parlance went, because I never did like that other term, but that's a whole nother conversation. But it was, like I said, good times back in the day. Really being able to have that space to really come and discuss things from a Black woman focused perspective. And I must say, again, I learned so much from watching you deal with some of the more interesting denizens that, of course, when I was moderator, they quickly found they could not speak where I was. But the fact that you showed me another side of resting in your power. And I think I told you then, it was amazing to watch you listen and at the same time be able to calm down and shut down with soft power. I haven't often seen that, nor have I always had the luxury. But I learned so much, and just being able to be in the chats and not have the burden. I think you did make me moderator, but the energy was so different. And that helped me make other decisions, because I realized, okay, there's other spaces I can be in when I ain't got to be fighting fools all the time.
You
Because
know
you
what?
created that safe space for
That
all
is
of us.
such a thing for us as Black women, that realization of the gift that I have might be better utilized in a space where I don't have to expend so much energy on protecting myself, or maintaining my balance or whatever like that. That's a big thing. And that also speaks to like you highlighting that gift that I have. And that's something that I have had with me and been like semi-conscious of throughout my life from like childhood, young childhood, but not really knowing the value of it until, within the last 5 to 7 years of being able to say, oh no, this is a skill, and this is marketable, and this is valuable, and it could be most valuable to me as I am the one wielding it. I've been utilizing this in the lowest of, customer service jobs, call center jobs, and things like that. And it wasn't until moving up and like having people in those different jobs, completely different jobs, say the same thing. You're really good at this. This cannot be taught. This, you know what I mean? And hearing that stuff over and going, okay, first of all, I need to get paid. Like, I need to get paid what this is worth. And I need to be doing this in an environment where I'm doing it towards things that I actually care about.
Exactly. Which really sets up question 3, Auntie Love. Back to you.
Let me say this before I totally forget. All of our most esteemed, brilliant, creative Quianna's information is in the description. Okay. There's some other resources in there too. So please check that out because okay, wait. Oh, okay, I got 18 books. Okay. And this is the book that I need us to pick up. It is so excellent for us as single Black mothers. It's also excellent, as Auntie D has said, for those who actually are have chosen to be supportive of us. Okay. Because it's not telling you, it's not her. Okay, Quianna's book, Level Up Single Mom, is not saying, oh, well, I need you to come in and figure out what it is that, I need to have, the type of support I need. No, I'm okay. We telling you, okay. And if you can meet that, great. But if you know what I'm saying? Because girl, we've been rolling. That's what single Black mothers do. We create matriarchal environments because that's natural to us. And then we take it and we make sure everyone is great. Everyone.
And I wanna add in there too, before I forget, also, it's okay to leave us alone while we figure it out ourselves. Like, if you can't help, if it's beyond you, that's okay.
Yes.
But don't feel like you got to try to make me into something so that it's okay for you my problems to be beyond you.
Yes. Yes.
Because they really are anyway, most of the time.
Right.
For real. Yeah, I think that's so important what you just said, Quianna. Don't come over here thinking you're going to decide what's going to go on over here after I just have put all of this together. I created a realm, and now I'm in connection with other single Black mothers because we need to help each other. And I do know generally as Goddess Borne as Black women that we are going to help and be compassionate and kind to all humanity and even hominids because we are, go get the melanin empath. The coding for us as Black women, it's our DNA, RNA plus our melanin is throughout the universe. You can't do shit without it. Okay? Nothing. Our melanin is found in high amounts all over our body. It's not actually our skin tone is more of a side effect of being melanated, right?
Yeah.
In the greatest way.
Mhm.
Okay. But melanin is required to build a plant, a star, a moon, a sun, a planet, the ocean, all the creatures in it, all the creatures out of it. And you definitely cannot create a human child in your body um without our specific coding to melanin. So we have a tendency to look at all of these other people as if they are, you know, they're inevitably a part of us,
Mhm.
right? And I think that's why we are so tolerant
Yeah.
of of the different things that come across from these people. And I'm going to say my part is that you declared war. That means you did a clarion call for me as a goddess born warrior, and I'm here. And while my good sisters continue to heal, be creative, and brilliant and beautiful, and do all the things that we do, I'm on the vanguard and I'm on the perimeter and I'm coming in with a whole splice move. So I'm telling you right now, there are those of us as Black women, not unlike myself. Now, I'm a sort of a hybrid as an apex predator.
Mhm.
I am not a good person. I'm a series of um of how other people feel when I leave their environment or whatever, or when I'm in their environment. Sometimes it turns out good for people, sometimes it don't.
Right.
That's just the way it is, you know.
That understatement, though.
Yeah. So,
I
you
mean, it
know,
could go either
I'm
way. It could go
I'm
either
I'm
way.
just
That's true.
I'm just
That's
saying.
why I say come
I'm just
correct,
saying.
y'all. You do not want the smoke. You just
I'm
think
just
you
telling you right
do.
now. Auntie D has dubbed my code name as the executioner. I'm not playing. Okay. I'm not playing
Look,
them
if
games.
if
So
y'all
don't
want
write
night,
no, yeah, don't write no policies. Don't try to make no laws. Don't try to come up with all the things you think I'm supposed to do or not do or whatever the hell it is. Okay?
Yeah.
I'm not doing any of that. And if you bring it here, then you are going to have the problem you came for.
mm-hmm.
Okay? Because I understand that if we as Black women, Black girls, Indigenous women, and Indigenous girls were not being violated and
Mhm.
brutalized and treated cruelty and unusual behavior, um, we would have already rehealed this planet from all the damn fuck ups y'all have done again. What we keep having to come in and clean up after you.
And
True.
This is
it's
why we
exhausting.
don't let children have pets. Because y'all ain't gonna clean up nothing. You're just gonna make a mess, and then I got to come in. But no, nope. So I hope I say this often. I hope in the future, a person such as myself will not be necessary
Mhm.
because we will be able to hold Black women, Black girls, Indigenous women, Indigenous girls, the LGBTQ community, and our mixed Black children. Because I need y'all to stop trying to cast off our mixed Black children as if Black women haven't been having all types of children for millions of years. Okay, stop it, because that doesn't work for us. That's somebody else's tradition to divide and throw
How
people
about
away.
that? you know,
Mhm.
that whole thing of just like, oh, they can't be black. Well, what are they? Because they're not white. They're not treated as, you know, like,
White people came up with a whole new category, just like they did in South Africa,
mhm,
calling these children biracial. Girl, when they get to be biracial, you mean when your mammy started going to the store with them and acting like they were some sort of cute little pet or something? Girl, get the hell out of here. Stop. Okay, stop. And we can't do that as black women, and it's important that we understand that.
I feel
Um
just the fact that you brought that up, I feel I want to say something about that because what Deann was talking about, like me being able to sit in my power and things like that. A big part of that is being able to own the things that are mine and not feel threatened that they will be taken from me. What is mine belongs to me. So you having it or something like it, or, you know, being in proximity to it or what, does not negate the fact that it is mine. It belongs to me, and it can belong to you too in your own way, but that's not going to take anything from me.
yes. Yes.
There it is.
Yes.
That's what this conversation misses. I was, to go with what you just said, I was walking in the park not that many days ago, and it occurred to me the games that people play because they actually are empty and have nothing. In this society, we are living among people, and some of them do look like us, unfortunately, but we are living among people that have trained other people to think, okay, there's scarcity, there's a 9 month winter.
Yeah.
Hint, hint, clue, clue. We just gonna let you guess what part of the world that thinking comes from. Winter's always coming. And we also want to be gods ourselves and are frustrated because we're failing completely. If Black women had not come to this country, we would have lost it about 24 years into its official beginning, 24, 30 years. And we want someone we can take out that frustration on. So not only do we
Mhm.
have scarcity mindsets, meaning there's not enough to go around, even though there clearly is, but we don't ever feel that.
Mm-hmm.
We also want to pick someone that we can work out our frustration on
Right.
as well, because we can't have our way in this world. We can't get anything done without having to depend on all these other people. Therefore, we cannot be self-sufficient and we cannot be gods.
No.
So we want to pick somebody else. And so a lot of what we see in American society is rotation of scapegoats.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't have to agree. As a Christian, I've actually read the Bible. I don't see any justification for Heritage Foundation version of Christian behavior. What I see there is the same old European foolery that it's been forever, of just winter's always coming. We need to find someone to be a scapegoat because we can't get our way.
Mm-hmm.
We need to find somebody to other that we can now take all that out on and deprive and feel better about ourselves and feel superior because we can deprive them. Now, put any group of people in there that you want. I don't have to agree with who you have sex with to want to go kill you.
Right.
Mhm.
I'm looking at my Bible. I'm like, I don't see Jesus doing that. I mean, you went through all those Bible studies with me, John,
Mhm.
Acts, down to Pauline's, and all the rest of it. I'm like, we all studied this. That
Yeah.
ain't in there. But what we're living in is a society that rotates its scapegoats. So a lot of the fill it in, anything black, anything, well, I'm just going to go ahead and say this. If you don't have the phenotype of Donald Trump or Elon Musk, because we done brought South Africa into the chat, you're probably going to be on the scapegoat carousel at some point.
Right.
But then the Heritage Foundation shows us that it's not the men who are often driving this. It's often the women of those cultures.
Mhm.
So we need to be able to take everybody off the scapegoat carousel. We don't have to agree with everything that everybody does. But if you're an adult and you're an adult, then since I don't own you, I don't need to kill you because I don't own you.
Why am I even
There's enough
concerned?
room.
And
There's
you know
enough
something?
room.
I don't think, no, not even I don't think. People don't
Mhm.
understand, they aren't conscious of the law of reciprocity. And whatever you put out is coming back to you. And it's so interesting. Like, there are these concepts that we carried with us, heard about, learned about from children on up, but really getting an understanding of what that means. If I'm going to judge you, if I'm going to do negativity towards you, I am opening myself up. I'm making myself a target for the same thing. And not only that, I am also evoking negativity within myself, permeating throughout myself, and eventually working its way back around into me. So I'm cursing myself through cursing you.
Yes, that's it.
And it's just
Yes.
like, it's those things, even when there's so much stuff, relationships, everybody going back and forth about, oh, people cheating and this, I'm a cheat back and this and that and the other and all this other stuff. And it's just like, I personally can't be in a situation that changes me from my default. What you've seen of me that's when I feel the most like myself. That's my default. My default is, calm and serene and observant and ready to serve and ready to, whatever needs to be done, but always with balance and restfully. I'm not being overextended. Everything I was watching, what's her name? I can't remember her name right now, but she's a speaker, and she was saying you don't serve from your cup, you serve from your saucer. You serve from your overflow.
Right.
And so, like, that is when everything is right and I can do that, that's when I feel the most like myself. And so many people are so busy trying to dip in other people's cups or knock other people's cups over, or
Yes.
things like
Yes.
that. And it's just it's actually crazy. Like, you look crazy. Like,
Wow.
Yeah.
Let me say hello to the other MJ, because you
Deeann,
just so brilliant, girl. I'm sitting here just learning so much. Okay. God, I love being in your presence. Hi, Nia. Hi, Lantonette. I hope I didn't butcher
Hey,
it.
y'all.
I've seen you so many times before over there on theme.
Nobody wants to say hi.
Hi.
Well, hello.
Hey.
I think I saw you a little bit ago.
Hey,
Yes.
beautiful. You and your beautiful mom. You beautiful like your mama.
Yes. Girl, you are amazing. I heard you sing.
Oh yeah, they did hear you sing.
I love it. I love your voice. I love your voice.
Thank you.
You're welcome, sweet pea.
I'll let you go. You want to stick around?
I'm gonna be over there.
Okay. She'll
Okay.
be
It's nice to meet you, sweetheart.
Yes,
She's so
running
beautiful.
things. She'll be over there running.
Mhm.
She's over there creating.
She is. She's playing with her slime.
I know, but God is born.
Mhm.
I see it. I see it. Hey, Invincible Summer. So the question comes up. What does healing, wellness, and leveling up look like for single Black moms from your perspective?
To me, it looks like being free to figure out whatever you want to do, at any given moment. It looks like being unencumbered in your evolution. So not having the fear of what are they going to say, or, who's going to stop me, or, is it right? Is it wrong? Is it responsible? That was a big one for me. Like, not feeling responsible in doing the things that my spirit feels called to do. You know what I mean? Like feeling like it's frivolous, feeling like it is selfish, those types of things. So for me, it would be just single mothers not being burdened with that mantle of single motherhood. You know what I mean?
Yes.
The
Yes.
weight of it.
Yes.
Artificial weight. It's hard
Mhm.
enough being a mother alone, but all this other stuff that people tack on.
Yeah.
Because I do feel like we have what do they say? We have foreign and domestic problems with
Right.
people outside of ourselves as
Right.
single Black
Yeah.
mothers that end up having to be solved as well. And we're already doing the impossible,
Mhm.
you know? So I I I know this is not gonna go. Y'all had to forgive me because when I read Quianna's book and I had to go back again. Girl, I told you I had to talk to my therapist because it just
Mhm.
brought up so much PTSD
Yeah.
from my story and hearing so many other single Black mothers, their stories, even the ones in my family, like our stories of such, like I
Trauma.
said, yeah, trauma
It's
and cruel
trauma.
and unusual
Even the fact
behavior.
that you couldn't even just straight up just say, oh, it's trauma. It
Mhm.
is so many things in life that we think of as normal. I don't even know if we think of it as normal. Things that we may have been through. When
Mhm.
you get a certain level of awareness and you look back, it's horrifying. It's not just like, oh, it's sad or it's scary. It's horror. It's like a horror movie. It's traumatic.
Yes, it is. It is traumatic. And um and with having those PTSD moments, I do want to say this. I think I don't know if it's on the other side of the chat or something, but I did put some, because I don't want to forget this. I did put some information about studies that were done um about the mental health of single Black mothers. Um
Mhm.
as we go through with Quianna, there's some things that like I want to touch on because she brings these things out so vividly in her book. So there are things, you know, yeah. I think what I want to hear I want to hear and I want people to hear. But I got pages marked off in green and red and yellow. Um um let me see. I wanted to look at page 8. It was something you said that made me think of Lord, what is this girl's name? The song's called Love Rain Down on Me. Girl,
Mhm.
I don't
Jill
remember
Scott.
that.
Jill Scott.
Oh, of course.
Jill
Oh
Scott
yeah.
wrote this song that I'm like, girl, you need to quit right now. Why are you talking about me like that? Who told you my business? Who told you my business, Jill? Um, you say here that you say I'd gotten pregnant with my oldest daughter at the end of my first semester in college,
Mhm.
and my self-image was demolished as a result. And I was perpetually depressed
Mhm.
and dejected and was convinced that the best I could hope for was to get my oldest child's father to marry me and to create for her the idyllic life that I myself never got to experience with my own parents. I
Yeah.
spent 8 years on an emotional roller coaster with the frenemy that was her father, a ride that crashed, landed with me losing my mind, my home, and the fire that had driven me forward for all of those years.
Yeah.
So I really would like for you and I to relay a bit of our stories, to
Sure.
compare notes here about whichever one you pick, whoever you know.
Okay.
I because I'm the chick that, like, when they called and they had said, um my son's father had passed away, and I was just like, what? Okay.
hmm
But okay, I'm gonna just say it. But he passed away about 26 years ago.
To me,
And
right?
yeah,
Right?
Yeah,
Right?
all intents and purposes, he chose to be gone, and then life
yeah.
just caught up.
He chose to have a whole other family at the
Mhm.
same time that we had been together and we're supposed to be getting married. Hmm? So I want to compare some of our story because
Okay.
I love I know the courage that it took to be this transparent and
hmm
authentic um is, I'm gonna say, typical for God is born, atypical for anybody else.
Right.
Okay, so you can pick which part you want to, which part you want to talk about, whether you want to
hmm
pick about your pregnancy,
hmm
that how your body felt, um going into delivery, where was this man, where was this, who was that, and some of the particulars of how you and your children were treated by these men.
Yeah.
So can we do that?
Yes, sure we
Okay.
can. No
Okay.
problem. So I'm going to try to stay as organized as possible because, there's two.
Mhm.
So I would say the first one was the vast majority of, I say 75 to 90% of when I talk about trauma
Mhm.
was that. And I think mostly because, of course, the first is always the worst, right? In
Mhm.
anything. And there was a lack of understanding for me of a lot of, like, I was a kid, I was 18. So I didn't know about myself as much as I know about myself. I knew about myself when I got to my second. I didn't know about the world. I didn't know about men. There's so much that I didn't know. So I really just kind of failed forward through that. In terms of the experience overall, and this is just with the first one so far, pregnancy has never been a problem for me. Like the physicality of it
Mhm.
in my mind prior to becoming a mother, my life plan was to be a surrogate for women simply
Mhm.
because I just had a feeling that I would be able to carry children, but I wasn't necessarily sure I wanted to raise children. And there
Mhm.
was something about this idea of people wanting children enough and putting in the work of finding people to carry, like
Yes.
people
Mhm.
that really, really want to be parents, I feel like should have children, that are willing to do if they're willing to do all of that, then more than likely they're going to be very conscientious with everything else that comes after moving forward. So for me, I was just like, well, I could help people in that way.
Mhm.
Um, when it came to the experience of, I think this is an interesting aspect that I just within like the last year or so have been kind of cleaning up within myself. So my I was talking to my oldest daughter just about something in general. And I was saying something about, yeah, and I used to go to the doctors all the time. And then it hit me, like as a teenager. I was very responsible as a teenager with no support in that way. Like no one to talk to me about those things and no one to guide me and anything like that. I took the information I got from, I don't even know, like television or whatever. And when I became sexually active, I started taking myself to the doctor. I started trying out different birth control. Like I was really, when I sit and think about it now as a 38-year-old woman and think about me at 15 and 16, I was really responsible in a way that I'm impressed by, for that age now as a grown woman. And I was able to like pat younger me on the back and go, you did good, girl. You were doing really well by yourself. Considering you didn't have anyone to guide you, you did really well and you shouldn't feel bad. Because for a long time I felt, like, oh, I'm just the stupidest person in the world and yada, yada, yada. I got pregnant because I was going to school outside of the city, like a couple hours outside of the city. My doctor's inside of the city, obviously. It was time for me to get another Depo-Provera shot. And I just didn't feel like going. At the time, I wasn't even with him. My kid mind was always like, I'm not doing anything right now. I don't have a boyfriend or whatever, so I don't need it. And so I didn't go get it. And then I started dealing with him, and then I got pregnant. So there's that aspect of it. Initially, he was very nice to me, and I believe he genuinely liked me. I did not find out until within the last couple of years how his mother played a role in his demeanor changing towards me and his intentions changing towards me. And there were things like when I had my daughter and I met them and I started like being around the family and meeting them, there were certain things about their family dynamic and them as individuals. I'm talking about his family that I recognized over. But again, I'm a young person and I'm just intuitively picking these things up and processing them and not understanding. I recognize now that I was a threat to that dynamic that they had going there and the overall dynamic of the family and the way that they interact with each other and the way that I am. And I'm just like, I'm not going for certain things and I'm going to call certain things out and I'm going to say what I see. And so it was just an eye open, again, another thing of just, oh, okay, girl, like you did good. You did good. And I also came to recognize that when I talk about trauma, the biggest trauma for me when it came to my oldest daughter's father was learning that there are people in the world that will purposefully hurt you. And whether they're hurting you to hurt you or they're just hurting you by doing something that they knew would hurt you, even if the hurting you wasn't necessarily the end goal, they knew full well it would and they didn't care, things like that. And so for me, I will say that the second one helped me to reconnect because I knew him in high school before I became anybody's mom or anything like that. It did help me to reconnect to who I was before everything happened and thusly what type of person I am. And so therefore being having more of an understanding of just like some people are my kind of people and some people aren't. Because I know when I was dealing with the oldest daughter's father, and like I said, I was thinking like, oh, this is going to be my redemption. He holds the key to my redemption, whatever that meant at the time. It didn't matter so much whether or not he was the type of person that I consider myself to be and would want to be around, you know, long term. I kept trying to make him that person, or I kept believing that I could make him that person if he would just let me close enough to influence him. You know, it was just, it was so much going on. Ultimately, though, I will say that I'm grateful. Like every day I told you guys about what's going on in my life nowadays and stuff. And I truly cannot say that I'm not somewhat happy that things work the way that they work, because this everything that's going on that is good because I went through all that other stuff. You know what I mean? Like it feels the way it feels to me now because I experienced those things, and I wouldn't level up single mom wouldn't have been a thing if I hadn't went through it with him, because the second guy, like I was hurt and I had my issues with him or whatever, but that was the quintessential life-changing, you know, situations. By the time I started dealing with him, I had more of that presence of mind and presence of self to say, okay, I'm not going for this, I'm not going for that, I'll give you a chance, you know, but I'm not going to stretch it out 8 years, because it took me 8 years from beginning to end, you know, with the oldest daughter's father, really, to like get to a point where it wasn't even like I was like, oh, I hate you or anything. It was just kind of like, I cannot do this anymore. It's whatever this is, it's not working. And I just have to leave it behind and move forward. And so when I said that thing about the fire leaving me, my fire all that time had been, I'm trying to get him to see me. I'm trying to get him to see my value. I'm trying to, you know, I told on one of my lives I did, and I reposted, I said, with my oldest daughter's father, my aim was love me so that I can have value. And then with the second one, it was love yourself, talking to him, love yourself so that I can share my value with you. And so that's, you know, a condensed, generalized version of the stuff I went through. Like the second one tried it, but because I was in that space of like, look, I need to have a certain type of balance, and you're messing with my balance, so you have to go. It wasn't nearly as traumatic. It was still traumatic because I thought it would have been different because of who he was to me before becoming my child's father. But other than that, it's been very, very easy to move. It was always easy to move forward and just go, what's next?
Because you know, you express this very thing. You said his behaviors in terms of our relationship had already been a bit sketchy, so I wasn't shocked when his inconsistencies became less subtle and finding out about the pregnancy. I tried to let him off the hook by telling him that it was okay if he didn't want to be with me.
Yeah.
And that I would be happy raising this child with him as a friend. Now this is the
Number two.
yeah, you met him when you were in high school, but you put all of this together and you say, love me so I have value. It is this is what
the second one was love yourself so I can share my value with you.
Right. Yes. So thanks for clearing that one. Okay. So so when we put these ideas that you have now discovered in looking through and deciding who you are, right? That we are told, and this is what really, I can't say I have normal fears, but this is a fear of mine, and this comes from weaponizing the Bible in order to make patriarchal work or patriarchy work, or weaponizing the Quran in order to make patriarchy work, or
Yeah.
weaponizing in whatever religion, Judaism, in order to make patriarchy work. That we're constantly being told we are simply a vessel. We are simply a helpmeet. We
Yeah.
are simply here to do the work, and in my estimation, do all the work, but give y'all all the credit.
Mhm.
I remember having this conversation with my cousin. And this was a few years ago, and she was like, I know you had to go through a lot. And I hear this a lot when it comes to them, because a lot of them are churched. They're not,
Mhm.
they say they're Christian, but Miss D's an actual Christian, but I'm just saying, like, as she tell you that there's a difference.
Mhm.
Um, um, so this whole idea that they all feed into with regard to, you're nothing without a man.
Mhm.
You just nothing.
Not in here.
Yeah. And then this whole idea that, okay, here I am, I'm doing my thing and blah blah blah, but here y'all all come, members of my family. You guys have been through, some of you have been through, okay?
Mhm.
And they decided to get married, to if they got pregnant, right? Then they decided to get married. Some of them were married before they were pregnant, whatever. But whatever it is, I'm just saying, it's that love me so I have value,
Yeah.
because we're supposed to be helpmates of this other person. um it's also this idea that we are supposed to, again, give them the credit for everything. Someone, I was talking to my cousin, she was like, oh yeah, you know like, I know you had a hard time when you were pregnant, and this and that, both pregnancies. Girl, I threw up the whole way.
Mhm.
Okay. And I worked 12-hour shifts. I did cross work, which I did pediatrics, and then I also did neonatal ICU. So I
Okay.
had two jobs. I was already an RN before I had my first baby, my son. I had him at 23. Now,
Okay.
that's different from being 18, but I'm going to be honest, not by much when it comes to maturity.
No, it's
You
not.
know,
It
I,
really is not. I'm
yeah.
in school now, and I'm standing there and I'm looking at the children, the children around me, and I'm just like, these are babies. Like, these are
Yeah.
babies.
Mhm.
We're aunties. There's the
Yeah.
difference.
I'm
Yeah. Yeah. It's this whole, it's this whole thing of, oh, you're a certain age. And that's something I wanted to bring up too before I forget. Because you mentioned this, and when you were answering the previous questions, and I want to address this little piece. Please tell me how to make the I can't be trusted. Um I can't be trusted. Um I was listening to someone, there it is. I was listening to gosh, what is this baby girl's name? Her name is Storyteller on TikTok, and she was doing a live. And I just want to share one thing. She was talking about, shout out to Storyteller. I love when she does her lives. Um she's saying that for little black girls, okay, our actual age would be 5, but we're expected to be 15
Yeah.
Yep.
at 5
Heard
years
that
old.
growing up.
Okay. At when we hit 13, then we're expected to be 21. Because between the ages of 0 to 13, we already have men coming onto us, even in our families. Y'all, some of this shit ain't appropriate. Okay.
And
It's
even if
not.
they're not like coming on to you, there's this energy of like priming you for someone else, or you know,
Yes.
indoctrinating you to understand that you belong, you're for some man, you are for some man.
Mm-hmm. And you know, so if you're 21, you ought to be 30. If you're 28, you ought to be 4. You know, we think you should know all of this, but you don't make that a thing for anyone else. Okay.
It's
But not
If
like
only
you're
you
talking
should have the
about a man,
responsibility to know, but you are not, we're not going to give you the respect that we would give someone operating in that state. You know, we're not
no.
going to give you we're not going to equip you to be sovereign in that responsibility. You are you have the responsibility of someone beyond your years, but we have the control over you of your child body.
Can we
yes,
just say that Black women are
yes,
still acculturated to being born as slaves and just
yes.
leave it alone? Because I had a flash. I have a 9-year-old and an 11-year-old, two beautiful Black girls. And without getting into too much detail, they were taking care of their baby sister. They were doing all the work. Their mother, one's a cousin, one is a sister. No, they're both cousins. The mother of this child was exhibiting behavior close to them, but then you had to realize she never had a chance to really get a chance to grow up and get it together either.
Yeah.
So that put all of these Black women and Black girls in a position where they had all this responsibility but no respect.
Yeah.
Yes.
At the same time. Now, me being Auntie D, I'm looking at this like, okay, now I got to figure out, how do I help this mother and make her feel supported so that she can continue to develop, so that I can then protect these younger girls from being in this situation. When you said that part about from 0 to 13, people are being groomed. It's not like we get to play with Barbies and then go do something else. It's like literally people are handing us children.
That was my life with my parents. At 8 years old, I was taken care of. Actually, my father was a brilliant pimp, literally, and my mother was an RN. But I don't want anybody to get this twisted. Both monsters. Um, um, both. You know, I always say my mother was a psychopath and my father was a sociopath. Um, and so one of the young women that he had in what they used to so affectionately call a stable, you know, that these men selling out. We talking about he was doing this before I was born. So we talking about the 60s, 70s. So I need all of us to stop talking about, oh, well, when Black men used to be when the hell was that? Because it wasn't. Y'all are tripping. Okay. Y'all just making shit up as usual. Girl, I was there. I'm old enough to tell you. And I know what I saw. And I know what the women in my family were doing and all of that. Okay. My grandmother was an anomaly, you know, in that she did not follow those traditions of other of colonizers, right? Whether those colonizers are Black men, whether they Legion, whether they whoever they are, she didn't follow. You need to get with her. That's how it was. And my grandfather did that. Good on him. Okay. Um, but he understood her brilliance too. So being, having at 8 years old when they came and got me from my grandparents, having to take care of a newborn baby that was a heroin addict. She was born, my younger sister was born a heroin addict. And then um my my sperm donor, he would bring babies out of wedlock to my mother. And she always played the whole martyr and everything. But girl, you wasn't raising nobody. You didn't raise me. I was at my grandmother's from the time I was 3 weeks old till I was almost 8. You ain't raising this girl because you hand her to me to feed, clothe, I cook, give bottles to, because my mother would work 16-hour shifts. And old dude was over there, um, you know, pimping from the pimp's point of view and turning girls out. And he's on heroin too, right? So you have girl.
My chest, like when I that's what I mean when I say like we talk of these things, and these are normal, regular things that happen to us because my chest is just, I'm feeling so much. It's trauma. That is true.
It
To
is.
try to put myself in the space of a 7-8 year, my baby is 9. Anytime I think of anyone around that age, I go right to her and thinking about her. I am so sorry.
Thank you. I'm not though. I am not. It's something you said before. It put me on a trajectory because
Yeah.
I did have my grandparents first, and they laid a foundation, specifically my grandmother, right?
Yes.
So, so when I relay that part, most of the time now, the thing that hits me is how is it that you expected me as a young Black girl to not only be a maid, be the ugly stepsister, when actually you're my mother, you're my physical mother, but that the baby is your daughter, but you leave her with me. And what if something happened to her? Because she has CP. What if she stopped breathing? What if this? What if that? You know what I'm saying? And you turn around and you do nothing to protect me. Nothing. In fact, you enjoy me suffering, because we do have these anomalies in Black women. I don't know why people think, you know, these people are all like this. This was all if you go through enslavement in this sick and cruel, brutal shit these people did and then continue to do throughout my mother's childhood and my aunt's childhood and my grandmother's childhood. Okay, you can't even tell Legion that that this happened and they people did it without them falling on apart. But you expect us to go through the terror of our bodies being enslaved and the and the and and the precision at which all of these different groups were able to come through and use violence to separate us from our ancient lived memories. So you want me to do what? Get with you? Because I'm not. I'm really not going to be doing that. And for me, that brought out the apex predator side. But as it turns out, it needed to be brought out, you know, because otherwise I could not do what I'm here to do, which is to protect the most vulnerable in this society. And for me, that is all children, because y'all eat children's souls with the cruel shit you do. And the fact that you expect Black girls at at 2, 3, 4, when we have memory, right, to not only be enslaved to you, but also that we are not just to do that, we have to keep your fucking secrets. We have to present after you have tortured us.
Right.
We got to go to school after you did your damn best to take my soul and break it in pieces the night before. Huh? But I still got to show up at elementary school, middle school, wherever. And I better not bring home any less than a B. And it better be more about A. Let me tell you something. That shit ends. That ends. You are grown. When my parents had me, y'all were grown.
Yeah.
And you was making grown people decisions. But I was dealing with the consequences of your bullshit. And I'm telling you, this is what's been happening with Black girls who become young Black women, who become older Black women. You fucking torture us because for some reason you are intrigued by our pain. Now, I'm able to take that and protect others, like Black women, Black girls, Indigenous women, Indigenous girls. But I'm not going to have any respect, and I'm not going to show any reference, and I'm definitely not bending no knees for you to be a damn predator or a pedophile or somebody who turns out young women so that you can use their diverse orifices to make money. Yeah, I'm not getting with you.
Yeah.
No, I don't have no respect for you. Submit to what? Submit to what? You can't lead shit because you're not leaders. How you gonna lead something when we're being murdered as Black mothers? And this is horribly true for Black single mothers in these United States by none other than Legion. Where's the Black men to make sure that shit don't happen? Why? I don't see you solving no problems that are occurring to us by foreigners, meaning white folks and Asian and whoever the fuck. Okay? I don't see you you ain't solved nothing. You haven't built no schools, you ain't educated you don't even know, or you act like you don't know the history of the Black women who put you on. But you love to sit here and talk about how you want your peace when you get home and I need to do this. Nah, I'm not doing any of that
something.
shit.
Let me tell you something. There's going to be peace in this house because I'm here. But the peace is for me. And I'm not saying that you can't indulge in the peace. But if you feel like I should be actively working to create peace for you, that's not going to work. When I'm in my house, again, I'm talking about my default. Now, I will say there was a TikTok I saw where a Black woman was talking about, have you seen, she looks like a mixed woman and she has a little belly and she's always cooking and stuff. And she has a white husband and she has like 2 small children, but she makes everything from scratch. Like she made a peanut butter and jelly sandwich for her child. She baked the bread and ground up the peanuts and made the whatever. So she's doing it up. And it's clear they got long money, right? But there are people that are just like, oh, I believe they're Mormon or something. No, I found that out later. But they're saying like, oh, she's pushing the trad wife thing and yada, yada, blah, blah, blah. So this Black woman was saying, why are you mad at this little girl for doing these things? She said, it looks to me like she's being inspired by how she's being cared for. Because she doesn't look hurried. She looks just as serene doing it. She looks like she looks well cared for, rested, hydrated. She looks in her sovereign. And she's just like, you should want to be in a space where you are inspired to create.
Yes.
To be fertile and fruitful and nourishing and everything. Because again, I was talking about how when you put the negativity out and it comes, that's an extension of what she's being fed, I think. And this isn't me saying like, we all need to be trad wives. I'm not saying that. I don't care what the expression of that energy is. It could be caring for a family. It could be, being a boss babe. It could be whatever it is that works for you. But for me, it's all about calibrating yourself to what your specific default is, what works best for you, how the energy flows for you, and then building out around that. So many of us are trying to fit ourselves into programs where we do not operate well. So
we're designed to operate like
we're not designed to operate in. So if I find a man that is calibrated to my default, who knows? Who knows what I'll be doing? Who knows?
But see, that's the other thing. How are you gonna bring me fear, scarcity, and problems, and get love, joy, and peace back?
Because that's the covert. That's the quiet part. That's not set out loud. You are supposed to make it into that experience.
Take a sow's ear, take all the mud, take all the stink, make it into a silk purse for me, and fill it with money.
Yeah,
and keep it full. Be a nurse with a purse.
And then put it in my pocket,
and so that I can look like yes,
I made this happen for you.
But see, that's not how any of this works, though, because you talked about the law of reciprocity.
But this is how it's working. This is exactly what.
But what I'm saying
is exactly what we're doing, right?
But what I'm saying is, for the men that have these demands, we can go so far. In other words, I heard you say that you grew up around married matriarchs, largely with your grandparents. Mine is, the more I talk to Black women like yourself and Auntie Love, your grandfather and your grandfather are very analogous to Father Mathews, Mr. Webster, Mr. Cook, a lot of the men who were around. Because there were a lot of widowed matriarchs because of just age gap. Like my grandmother was 70 when I was born. So they were all widowed matriarchs. And of course I didn't realize that, but I mean, literally I grew up with women, let's see, Minnie Ruth Jackson, Pastor Jackson had been gone already. So I grew up around a lot of widowed matriarchs and didn't realize it. And then my parents are in a balanced patriarchy, which is very rare. But here's why. But as you said that, it just occurred to me. Here's why. People do not understand. We're probably better than anyone else on earth. Yes, we can take a certain level of chaos. But in making that transmutation, it also hurts and destroys us.
Yes.
If you're constantly being asked to take confusion, and I'm not even talking about, because I heard what you said about the second father to your baby child. Love yourself so you can see my value. I'm not even talking about.
No, love yourself so I can share my value with you. I know
Okay,
what
thank
my
you for the
value
correction.
is, but I want to share it with you. But I can't
Okay.
share it with you if you are not, equipped.
Okay. So that's okay. Thank you for the correction. So we have it exactly right. But the thing I'm going at there is that we're not even talking about you not being equipped. Some of these men are actively trying to tear down the very thing they say they want. And they want to
That was
tear it
number
down
one.
so they could that was number one. Okay. Actively tearing down what they say they want in order that they can build a satanic throne over the top of it. Yes, I said that. Because I've read Galatians 5 and all that stuff over there, that the malice and the fornication and the uncleanness and all the rest, this is what they want to have and be enthroned at the same time. So even if, no matter how much you love someone like this, they are literally, you're trying to bring all the love, joy, peace, gentleness, goodness, patience, meekness, faith, and self-control to the situation. And they are bringing everything that came before that to the situation. We can't transmute that to a point, but we pay a terrible price for trying to do it. We tend to do it for our children, our grandchildren, our aunts, our uncles, in my case, my students. But you pay a terrible price for it. So at some point, it just becomes easier to just be like, you always move on.
Yeah.
Because I don't choose to do it anymore. Like
Yeah.
I said, we
Exactly.
came out of the house of Themis.
Yeah.
Insufficient dedication to love, joy, peace, gentleness, goodness, patience, meekness, faith, and self-control. Yeah, I can impose certain things by fiat because I just had power, I'm strong enough to be able to do that. But after a while, then you kind of think to yourself, if you don't want it enough, I can't make you have wanted enough.
I can't make you want it enough.
I can't compensate you enough to be able. So at some point, and I think the kindest that I can be in the conversation between that we're having is that we, all three of us, are at a place in our lives where it's just like, no, we're not giving you anything you ain't bringing us.
No.
No, one of us on here, I won't say who, you bring that demand over there. You heard what he said. Stop, drop, and roll, and whatever's left of you, run. I've heard this woman say live, I am the fire. Don't. So
Yes.
one of us, the other one has this gift of being able to keep things calm, but you still can't get what you want. And I'm somewhere between you two. Depending on what day you meet me. I got the voice of Lady Vader and the fingers of Lady Palpatine.
I want to be clear about something. You can catch me on the right day and get something completely different than you see. But now, and mind you, it could be different. It could be a lot, or it could be nothing. I may just walk off. But yes.
But what I'm saying is, at a certain point, and our younger Black girls and younger Black women, now that we're at that auntie age, they need to see us doing this consistently. Because otherwise, what we're doing here is so important because we're saying aloud. To just see the pain that you and Auntie Love have as you were talking about what happened and the trauma back and forth. And then I got pulled into a flashback because there were two little girls who are going through this right now.
There's so much all around us. And like I said, we see it and we take it in, but I don't think we fully metabolize it.
Yeah, because I don't really share this part mostly well equally because I want to talk about the second one, the second father over sperm donor over here. Girl, it was horrible. And it wasn't just the first one was girl, it was just all and I think what happens is I know what happened for me is I lost trust in myself. I felt like I couldn't make I wasn't
Yes.
making great decisions, and it was me. And then I felt this, something else that you speak on is feeling like, oh, I'm trying to. Why can't you see that I'm a great woman?
Yeah.
What is it that why can't you see that? I go to work, I come home. I you know, I've built a life for myself and my son.
I'm
Why
cute.
how
I'm fun. I do, I can cook.
yeah,
I
I
can do
mean
other
all of it.
things. Yeah.
Okay, all of it. I got skills all over the place. Okay. I got some upside down skills. That's how I broke my knee, but we won't get into that. Um, but but here's what happened, everyone. I was 31 when I met him. He actually was my best friend, knew him quite well. Oh, hi, hey Jazzy, the brat, Tea Time Beauty. I think I'm missing someone. Thank y'all all so much
True
for coming.
Mystique.
I meant did I
True
true
Mystique.
well, True's
Jazzy.
been here. True been here. She been True. Jazzy, I hope I said hello to everyone. If I haven't, please, bear with me. Um, so I was 31. He was 10 years older. And it's see, because I listened to these so-and-sos who are between 28 and as ancient as they get, what is that, 60? I listened to them say the
Wait
same
a minute.
the same
That just
shit.
hit me. I just got what you said. Ah, right?
Yeah, but like I said about the first one, huh?
Ain't no fool like an old
Girl,
fool, y'all. Ain't
girl,
no
he
fool
been
like an
gone.
old fool.
He been gone. But what are y'all telling me? I can wear red now to the gravesite? Is that what you said? Is that what you
Listen.
said? Because girl, I actually told him before he passed away 23 years ago.
Mhm.
Because I kept saying because the oldest one, my oldest one father, I'm best friends with his sister. Okay, we're actually sisters.
Oh my God.
Okay.
I had the same experience of like me and his
Yes,
sister were like this.
yes, girl, yes. Okay. And so when she was like, girl, let me tell you. And I was like, girl, quit. Who? Now who is that? What spell his name? Cause girl, I'm
What
pretty
Mariah
sure.
Carey say? I don't know her.
Girl, you hold on. Let me go
I don't
look
know
through
her.
the papers. Let me look through the papers. I'm pretty sure I have his death certificate from 24,
Oh no,
25 years
not you
ago.
got the certificate. Why do
Yeah.
you have it?
So because okay, I had to that was when he was dead to me. And I was just
Right.
trying to figure out what do you mean he's dead because he's been gone?
Right,
Girl,
girl, you can't die
what?
twice.
Girl, okay. And so but when it came to the second one, I thought like I, I was 31 by then, you know? So
Can I
here he
ask you
comes.
a question? Because I
Yes.
feel like I hear it coming. You felt like you knew better or you should have known better.
Yes.
Mhm.
Absolutely. And I met him, like I said, through my best friend. We were out, he was there. That's when I met him, for the first time. And literally from the very beginning, because I hear the same thing over and over. This man said, I really just want you to have my baby. I see us growing a family together, all of these things. And because it's like you said, Quianna, you said, you said when you were trying to let him off the hook, you you got that he was full of shit. But
Mhm.
sometimes for us, a lot of times for us, the dream is better than the reality. Or as Miss D will say, Auntie D will say, um, our we love our comfortable lives.
Can I, because so when it came to the second one, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
feeling like I know this person and, we are actual friends before anything
Mm-hmm.
else. And, I can trust these people. But I have friends and family saying, I don't know. And what I told them at the time, and I still hold true to it today, because I can say in retrospect, I was in an analysis period. I understood what I had, that I had been through something before with the first one, and
Mm-hmm.
I was consciously trying to do something different with the second one, but I
Mm-hmm.
also understood that I could be wrong. And so I told them what I'm trying to do now is move forward in hopeful energy, and with the understanding that I deserve my fairy tale. I deserve for things to work out. I deserve for things to be, too good to be true, but actually be true. So
Mm-hmm.
that's the energy I want to move in, but I'm perfectly ready at any given moment when I see fit to just drop it,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So
Yes.
I gave myself that room, because it is
Yes.
really important to believe that in your good coming to you.
I I think that was definitely where I was, you know.
Mhm.
Um as I've evolved to something, you know, what y'all see today, I just realized that my good's going to come not just because of universal justice, right?
Mhm.
And universal balance, but my good is also going to come because I make that so. I'm not giving that credit to anyone else. And I think we get pushed from all directions.
Mhm.
Even and especially our family. It could be cousins, it could be aunties, it could be whoever. Oh, give him a chance. Oh, this or that. No matter after he's done whatever. So when this man is saying all this, now look, he looked good on paper. Don't get it twisted. I want y'all to know. I mean, I became an RN by the time I was 20 years old because I went to college early. But
Mhm.
he's 10 years older. So he was established, owned a home, blah, blah, blah. I had my own place
Blah,
I
blah,
had a
blah.
condo. You know what I'm saying? Like on paper, uh-huh. And like until when I don't know what it, I don't know if this is true for everybody else who's a single black mother, but it's this thing where he's fine until his feet hit the floor.
Yeah.
Long as we
Number one.
horizontal or vertically.
Number one.
Listen, okay, yeah. But when them feet hit the floor, it's just like all the stupid rush right back up, you know,
That
up
flesh,
in. Hmm.
listen, that flesh will have you
Girl,
discombobulated out here.
girl, and I need y'all to know we are goddess born. So we have an intensity about ourselves, and many of us are empaths. So we feel the
Mhm.
feelings of other people as
Yeah.
if they're our own. And when you are this way, and um you know that the pearly gates of heaven are right here.
Mhm.
I don't know what they told y'all. I don't know where y'all been, but I'm just gonna be honest. Pearly
But
gates of heaven,
close your
right?
ears, Miss D. Close.
Okay.
No, not
Oh,
close your
I,
ears.
I've heard this from Miss. This is part of her course. This is part of her course. I know
Well,
this is coming.
but
This was
you
the
know what?
pearly
It's
gates part was part
important.
of the course.
But it
I
is
knew it was coming.
important because people will talk at people a lot about certain things. And
Mhm.
what is so important and needed is those discussions about what it actually feels like to come up to those temptations and things like that. There was something about, and probably because everything else was so horrible outside of those times, I would crave that energy that would be exchanged between
Yes.
me and a man, because in those moments I felt like pure positive energy. It felt like pure, adoration, validation, all of those types of things. And it would be to the point where, because I've always been able to like not have sex for long stretches of time, according to other people. Like I say, I haven't had sex in such and such time. They'll be, oh my God, how? But one day out of nowhere, and usually when things were going really well in my life to where I felt like I should have a treat. This was a way to treat myself because I was
Yep.
being a good and dutiful mother. I should be able to be a woman and feel like a woman. And so that was how I felt like I was feeling like a woman. I felt like I was feeling like a grown up.
Yes.
So these were things that I felt like that was the only outlet or the only way to experience these things that I was wanting to feel about myself in my life.
And I also I'm just gonna add this as God is born, as a in relationship with the great Black mother and her goddess sisters. We as Black women, and all my studies and my understanding of the deeper mysteries, we intuitively understand that our womb is creation. Our womb creates. I always say this: men make babies, they don't create them. Okay. They got a funny thing called a Y chromosome. And it really is just basically half of an X. Okay. So that's probably why, in the natural, girl embryos to fetuses to babies do better, right? Because they have their whole creative, okay,
During my
DNA.
angry stage, I used to always say that like men are just effective women.
Yeah, because that Y chromosome, that why is Y even a letter? Stop it, okay? Because it's just a half a letter. It's not
You
a
ever
whole
seen the
letter.
Y chromosome? They look like a piece was broke off. They don't look,
It is that
they don't
it
look
is
sturdy.
it is literally true, y'all. I'm not lying to y'all. Like literally, that's what scientists have come to understand. Okay, I'm like, okay, so you don't even have the right chromosomal makeup to be leading nobody. Girl, shut up. Okay. So with this man, at that stage and that point in my own development, I needed to believe the dream that I had in my head, and that I was really trying to also prove that I was a good woman, because I didn't feel that about myself.
Right.
And because I have such a powerful personality in it, and I don't, I just straight come at whatever it is. This part isn't new. but I was an outsider to my family. I really believe as a younger person they accepted me because of my grandmother. My own cousins. They're like, damn. Okay. So when this all occurred, when I started dating him, and I'm listening to him, but I want y'all to know, a predator, and even if they're not, men aren't apex predators to me. They're small time predators. Give way too much credit. We could
they're
stop that shit.
scavengers.
Yeah,
They're
we could
scavengers.
stop that shit right now.
Because they're
Okay?
always going for the lowest common denominator, low hanging fruit. Like when you listen to them talk, they would rather their quantity over quality.
Yes, and they can mimic. They can mimic. Like somebody explained this once. You could. They're not necessarily romantic. Let's say the person's not necessarily romantic, but they watch enough romantic movies to get the gist, so they know how to mimic. But that's not who they are at their core.
It's all
their value system.
It's to get something specific, so they'll do the things they think they need to do to get the thing that they want.
Yes, and the thing that they want is the pearly gates of heaven. I can't say I blame them for that part, but because that's our creative centered intuitively as Black women, we really do at the core of us understand that all of creation came out of our womb. So there's a lot, there's spiritual levels to this. There are physical, there are emotional, there are mental. Okay. There's so many layers and levels to this. So when I did get pregnant, first of all, funny story, I still don't believe there were two lines. I know she's 6 foot tall and majestic and precious and beautiful and brilliant, but I'm still having, girl, my friend had to go get me a second test because I'm like, that no, it ain't. I know you lying. Okay. And he was able to pretend because they can mask, they like to tell us, well, you picked wrong. No, I just got your representative. That's all. Okay. That's not the core of who you were.
You literally morphed into what it is that I would want to pick.
So you even though you're a lightweight predator, you know the basics of being a predator. All you got to do is listen to your prey.
But can I just say this? It's frustrating to me, and I will concede to my privilege in that I'm not driven by these things anymore. So maybe I can observe these things with a more sober mind. But it is so frustrating to me the way that these guys, not just these guys, women will do it too. This idea that you're always supposed to be expecting the worst. For me, the same thing as I was saying before about, the energy that is flowing to you and through you. I am not, what's that called? I'm not in the business of putting myself in situations where I have to constantly figure out how you're going to screw me over, how you're going to hurt me, and then actively having to work to prevent that. If that is the dynamic we have, why would I be talking to you? If I am talking to someone, if I am having sex with someone, if I am interacting with you in a certain way, then that it goes to think that I should trust you to a certain degree, right? Otherwise, I wouldn't, or I should at least believe that I should be able to trust you to a certain degree. This idea that this person you married, you were supposed to have been watching them the whole way through up to the marriage. And if I felt like I had to do all that, you would be going right away. If I feel like I have to watch you, if I feel like I have to protect myself against you, if I feel like you are not a safe person where I can be my default with you, which is trusting, which is open, which is giving, which is accommodating. If I don't feel like I can be my default inherently with you, then you don't belong here. And I don't belong with you. So I say all that to say this idea of browbeating women, who for trusting people that they are interacting with in a way that denotes that trust is silly.
Yep.
And I'm not saying that we can't say to women like, okay, you need to start building a better criteria for who you trust and things like that. But this idea that, oh, you trust your boyfriend? And not just that, on the flip side of that, you have people who clearly do not trust the people that they are being in relationship with. They won't let it go. That too is frustrating.
Yes. And see, like you said, as we're looking back and we're able to spend more time examining, we've been studying ourselves, and that's key. I want everybody to know that that's key to the three God is born wonderful women on this stage. Yeah, we have all done self-study over decades. Okay. And I know that a lot of us have a fear of that self-examination and unzipping our skin. But that's why I can say, I don't feel unworthy because I am a apex predator, honey.
No.
I do not feel unworthy that I protect children. I don't feel unworthy that I decided that I'm not going to be respecting any type of lower form predator or pedophile or supposed pimp or whatever the hell you think you are. I'm not respecting any of that. Okay, none of it. I don't follow your little patriarchal rules. And just because you write some shit down, I really believe that we need to be able to say that as Black women. I don't give a damn. Girl, I don't care what you. No, we ain't nobody doing that over here. So, when I'm in this thing, my best friend is like, oh, wow, he's really won this. He's excited and all of that. Until and it was still off and on with us, right? Because what we have in the back of our minds as Black women and intuitively is that, girl, I don't know who y'all think can fix it, but I know I can, because we're constantly taught, right, that these people are going to walk out on you. What do we hear all the time? Men cheat, men do this, men do that. So even if we have a certain amount of trust in that person, or we feel like that the individual they're pretending to be or whatever is actually real or whatever, but they're good at camouflage. Okay. So, me and the bugs and the creatures around here with them little salamander things that can camouflage themselves to look like some other color. Girl, that's what I mean. That's a lower life predator that can look like he a blade of grass and then roll up on me while I'm laying on the anyway. Yeah. So there's this huge part in which, these men's don't believe that they need to take any accountability or responsibility for the choices that they make as grown men. So you're 40 years old, you're 10 years older than me, and you don't come to one doctor's visit. And oh, by the way, I understand your sister because I still haven't met your peoples. My mistake. Okay, because if I had actually met that bitch you came out of, I would have gotten it so much quicker. However, I digress. So you don't go to any of the doctor's appointments because listen, when we are pregnant, as Black women, we are walking into a hostile battlefield of violence against our bodies when we go into the quote unquote healthcare system.
Yeah.
Now, listen, it doesn't matter what your social economics is. It does not matter what you think your education is or is not. Okay. The only thing I'm going to tell you guys right now, the only reason that they treated me like a VIP is because unless they smothered me to death, if I get up off this bed, I'm kicking everybody ass.
As you
Okay. I'm
should.
running all of this
As you
shit down.
should.
But I already had that part, right? So when he wasn't, he didn't come to the doctor's visits. I remember sitting there and watching these different couples. And I'm like, the last thing I want is to be a single parent
That's the
again.
last thing any of us wants.
I don't want this. I don't want what he's doing. I just don't want it. You know? And the fact that our bodies are going through actually creating a whole nother human being. Listen, Mint, y'all can't even catch a cold without losing your mind.
Right?
So imagine that your body feels like you have the flu, but you still have to do 12-hour shifts.
Still
And again, I was doing 2, right? I had an 8-hour gig with some of the doctors, and then I had 12-hour shifts on the floor. Girl, one day I worked at 18-hour shifts because here's what happened. Woo! I had left some things over his house, but I could not find him by the time I was like 6.5 months. Okay. Didn't call, couldn't answer none of this shit. So he leaves some, a few things, and that my friend had bought for the baby because he was going to be putting together a nursery, and me too. Okay.
Okay.
At my place. So I'm
sorry,
he
and I
put
feel
all of
so
this.
bad. I don't mean to disrupt, but I want you to know I'm not just texting or anything. I realized I completely forgot to post the link
Don't worry
on different
about
things.
it.
So I'm posting the link on LinkedIn and Facebook and stuff right now.
Girl, don't you worry about it. Don't worry about that. Girl, do what you gotta do. You know how it is. Do what you gotta do. Yeah, he brought, and I had actually given him a key. Never gave me a key, but I gave him a key. He brought this bag over. Right. But let me get to how we got to him bringing this bag over.
Okay.
So around 7 months, I worked at 5 different hospitals because I was doing conscious sedations and education and stuff like that. So one of the hospitals, I couldn't, I don't know what he's doing. So I have to take extra shifts as a 7-month pregnant Black woman. Okay. I'm already doing 12 hours and 8 hours on the other thing. Okay. So I got to have overtime because I want to be able to take off until my baby is 4 months old. Okay. And my job, on whether I was in neonatal ICU or the step down unit of pediatrics, is to save lives. Okay. That's what I do all day. I save babies' lives. Okay. That's what I do. I save children's lives. I get them out of pain. That's what I do. So you are going, I saw him, and then I followed him home because I was like, dude, I'm honking at him and all this stuff. Like, I haven't heard from you in 3 weeks. What is going on? And I'm even bigger pregnant now, right? Because my baby came out almost 2 feet tall. Okay. In my little short torso. So,
Jeesh.
So yeah, I had drop foot.
Oh.
She was laying on my sciatic nerve, which my son had already damaged, and
Oh.
as you know, when he was being created. So I had dropped foot. So I started to fall places, right? It's kind of your foot goes limp, right? And I go to step and it's like my foot's not there. And then so I had to start using a cane, But I'm also throwing up. I'm also feeling like I am covered in hives, which I'm not. And I have the most horrible flu, which I don't. It's simply pregnancy for me.
Okay.
And he, I got a chance to talk to him that evening, and I was like, so can we get together and talk? And because I don't really understand what's happening. Everything was fine 3 weeks ago, but I know his feet hit the floor and stupid rolled up. So, and narcissist sociopath. So I got you. But the
I
thing
got you.
is, yeah, but the thing is, you playing, okay? And I don't know if y'all know about me, but both times when I was pregnant with my kids, about 8 months pregnant, is when I get tired of my back killing me and having to pee, not on my own schedule, that my body doesn't belong to me at all. It belongs to the human being that I'm creating and flipping around in me while I'm trying to sleep, because they get still while you're walking around because it puts them to sleep when you're pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
But when you lay down,
Oh, it's party time.
oh, now you want to talk, now you want to sing, little baby, please. You're killing me here, okay? Swinging off my ribs and shit. Okay, that's enough. It's enough. So I go to the doctor at 8 months pregnant. I go, listen, I knew this conversation was coming. I know I got 2 more lunar months, but I really don't, because I feel like you guys should be able to beam this baby out of me right now. I don't want to be pregnant anymore. I mean, I want the baby, but so let's get this. So do what you got to do, because I need this individual separate from me. Okay, it's too much. It's too much. It's going on too long. I need my body back, girl. Y'all don't know. And I don't know if people understand this either, but when you have a baby, you actually have a different relationship after that with your vagina. It's not the same.
Yeah.
It's just not. I just want y'all to know, just in case it's just we don't talk like we used to. We don't have, we just not, so he he calls me the next morning. I had gotten off my shift and I went home. He calls me the next morning and he said, hey, so I I don't want to have anything to do with you or this baby.
After he specifically
Said,
asked for a baby.
And I remember clearly my best friend saying, shout out to Pammy, her saying, okay, you know what though? I don't think I would have actually believed you if he hadn't said it to me too, that he couldn't wait for this baby. And I'm like, first of all, how you gonna not believe me?
Volunteering. Okay. That's what I call volunteer lies.
Girl, what are you talking about?
Volunteer, because who asked you?
Girl,
if you wanted to be, why is that something that you would just say to someone, implant in someone's mind? To what end?
He just wanted to see if he could do it.
He already done. He had a son that was 4.
But what I'm saying is, to some of these overgrown boys, remember how you said that sometimes it was just the need to feel like a woman?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
A lot of these overgrown boys, because I know too many men who are mid-50s who have 4-year-olds, 4-year-old, 5-year-old, 6-year-olds. You don't know who you are by then and still dropping them. I don't know what to say. But they just want to see if they can do it. I can't come up with any other conclusion because no sense of wanting the responsibility. Your first and second Quianna struck me the same way. And then this story that you're telling right here, I'm getting Arrested Development. I'm
Yeah,
getting
it's that, but it's also what we don't know about either this the parts we can't see too, because we don't look at mental illness either. I'm not.
Mhm.
This is not as an excuse. I'm talking about some of this deviancy. Some of this stuff is a part of what we now call a mental illness, and we don't like we as single Black mothers, and um hey everyone, because we all told y'all, hey Nicole, what's up, culture connoisseur? We told y'all at the end of 2023 that okay, you're gonna have to read up. So I often get on the
Start with this.
start with this, and then next we gonna need, and then this, and then start with yes, but because
Thank you so
these are
much.
authors, okay. So I oh my god, it just went out of my head.
You were
Oh, we're gonna
saying
need you
about
guys
mental
to read up.
illness.
We're gonna
Okay.
need you to read up. And here's the thing. We can't be doing more research than we already do. Okay. That's gonna have to be something that you take responsibility for and accountability for yourselves, okay, or not, whatever. But I want you guys to know that one of the things that I looked at when I was me and Miss D, we be putting stuff together. We be over here investigating and looking at all these studies and data points and all this, right? To prepare for coming here as Noir Aunties, right? And I often go to the National Library of Medicine. So
Okay.
it's NLM, okay? And what they have is what's called a PubMed ID number. So
Oh
it's
yeah.
a government, it's a government site where all of these people do studies, whatever their studies are, and they publish them here. Okay. So it's just a trove of all types of information.
Okay.
So I pulled from two different sources. Um, One was Coping with Depression in Single
Mhm.
Black Mothers by Rashida Atkins. She's a PhD, um, public health nurse. And then I also pulled The Cumulative Influence of Perceived Discrimination, Stress, and Coping Responses on Symptoms of Depression among Young African American Mothers.
Would you like me to put those in the chat?
Oh, yeah, that would be great. Thank
Please
you.
Okay, I'll put those in the chat.
I think I gave you the citations too. I think I put those in.
Mhm.
So so y'all go read it, okay? You go read them. And
Okay,
I
hold
just
on.
wanted to make sure you know that, because a part of this part of what we're talking about here is we do not look at at ourselves, nor does anybody look at us as human beings. And here's why I can say that, because um we have a range of emotions too, and we go through shit. And all the time that you are a single parent, it's like people think that you as an individual can't get sick, can't need surgery, can't need your mouth worked on. Like, you know, you just see us as a body. You don't see us as an entire person with all of these things. And if you are a single Black mother, who's coming to take care of when you get sick, let's say, because that has a direct effect on your children.
Yeah.
Well, it's not that nigga. Okay. So I'm just telling you, this is a part of the whole of it that comes crashing down when we choose to take responsibility and accountability, not only for what we chose to do, but for what you chose to do. But you don't have to be responsible for your fucking sperm. You don't. So weird how we got rid of Roe versus Wade, but black men's and white men's and whoever can abort their children after they're born.
And
That's
they don't need the government's, approval to do it. They just do it all the time.
Nope.
All the
You
time.
get to do all of that. And who bears that? That would be us. That would be us. So when this man calls me and he says, I don't want anything to do with you or that baby. I had just seen my doctor because I was in preterm labor because the fucking stress of working 2 different things, 12-hour shifts on one, 8 on the other. I have nothing left and I'm throwing up. And you know what they're telling me? Oh, well, suffer, bitch. Oh,
Who
well.
told you that? The doctor?
That's what you're effectively saying when you're not going to do anything about it. And I still have to work. So even when I was somewhere putting in an IV, I would have to get up as soon as I got that IV and hold the vomit back until I could get to the bathroom. So I want y'all to know how real this is. Because this is real. This is happening to actual Black women every single day, all day. And all we get is a lot of, oh, single mothers are causing all the problem. Oh, single Black mothers and they ain't nothing and blah, blah, blah. We don't care about your education. We don't care about, we fucking know that.
Like, why are you even talking to me? Leave me alone.
And that's the other thing.
Leave me alone.
We know you don't give a fuck. Okay. So this man, he calls me, but my doctor had said to me, girl, if your pressure goes up any more little bit, you are going to be off. Here's what I'm thinking as a single Black mother, because we have a single Black mother mindset. And it's about making it happen. We're about getting results. We're about making sure that our children are, loved, cared for, uplifted, trying to figure out who they are from them, disciplining them, because you ain't running amok in my house. I don't know what you do over there, but girl, I will snatch you. Okay.
Right.
So here we are. And if my blood pressure is up when I go see the doctor after this man hangs up, after telling me that he doesn't want anything to do with me or his daughter, what does she do to you? Now you can leave me. You can leave me because I'm a grown ass woman. But what did this baby do to you? What the fuck did she do to you?
She is
an
entity. She's an entity that would only relate to him by him having to do for her. He could take nothing from a baby.
Yeah.
But
there was nothing he could take that he would want from a bit. Like, he could have got love from the baby, and he could have got the feeling of being a constant, steady, positive influence on this child as she developed. But that
he didn't value any of that.
Synapses, right? He needs.
He didn't value any of that.
Yeah,
he didn't value that.
I mean, like I said, he looked good on paper. He came from a 2-parent home. All this other shit. He was a Methodist and blah blah blah. Girl, I need all the noise to shut it off, because what's going on here is so real, and it's unnecessary suffering. And y'all love to eat our pain. It's something about it that's delicious to y'all. Okay? And that's really what was going on. It's not just that he was immature. It's not that he might have some mental, blah, blah, blah. His DNA is off
No,
somehow. It's not just
who
that.
purposefully herds someone, corral someone into a space where they would get pregnant with their child just to say, oh, I don't want to be bothered.
Girl,
Someone who wants
I
to
go
have the
to the
privilege of
doctor.
doing that.
I go to the doctor. And I know my blood pressure cannot be up. How do I make that happen? How do I make my blood pressure not be up in this situation? My back is killing me. I'm already 2 centimeters dilated. And we are 2 lunar months out from her being ready to be born. What do you want from us? So I come home. I remember, I need y'all to know, because I do have mental illness. From childhood, I dissociate. And there are just different, it's not as pronounced as, having different personalities where they don't know each other. They're integrated, but I just, okay. So sometimes there are moments that there's blackouts. So I made it through the doctor, and I remember smiling and laughing with the people at the front and all of that. And I am breaking, completely breaking. I go and I come home, and my front door, my bedroom was all the way to the back. Okay. My son's was right in front, and there was my bathroom or whatever. And then I had a master suite. So I come home, I open the door, and girl, I heard someone screaming. And I remember falling to the floor, and that's all I remember. And the person screaming is
Was
me.
you. Yeah, that was you.
So I don't know how I ended up in bed. I don't remember. But that 31-year-old woman, a single Black mother, and I hear this over and over from all types of single Black mothers.
Yeah.
How could you do that? How could you do that? And so y'all want me to forgive? No. Mm-mm. Y'all want you so but y'all are not going over there and asking him to atone.
Bingo. No repentance, no forgiveness.
Y'all are asking Black women to just be harnessed by you because you covet us, because you don't have the power to create, and you're mad about it, you're jealous about it, you're envious about it, and you're fucking violent, and you don't even give a fuck about this child. You are a grown ass man. I am a grown ass woman. And you get to call me and tell me you're not gonna what? You're not gonna what? I drove because she came early. She didn't come then, but I did a 18-hour shift. And I had to come off work. So then I couldn't make extra, you know, money, you know. And then on top of that, I'm dealing with white fucking bitches who I taught everything I knew on that floor. That's why they could put in IVs and all of that. I taught them. But my manager is constantly, well, your hair is in braids. Well, you're this and that. Bitch, I save lives. Why are you talking to me about where a bed ended up? Why are you coming to me with your white supremacist bullshit? So she ended up being a month early. Everybody, we were all expecting her to be a month later. I learned, I started taking different routes because I was having her at my job. So I started taking different routes to get there at different times of the day because this is how a single Black mother thinks. When I deliver her, I need my car because who's going to pick me up?
No one.
Because he's not coming. He's not coming. So this is what these are the things that go through your mind. I got to get this crib together, but I can't go pick it up by myself because I'm too big pregnant. And the other half of this that's supposed to be doing the right thing, the moral thing, the human thing. He ain't coming. He's not coming. He's not. So because she was early, my friends who were coming, they weren't ready. They weren't ready. And I get in the car, my water broke. I have everything set up for me to drive myself, and I did. I drove myself to my delivery. I remember having 3 contractions along the way. My friends who were on peds, one of them came down. They were trying to convince me, girl, you better not get in that car. We'll come pick you up. I was only 10 minutes away from my job, but I was like, no, I need my car. No. And when I get there, they bring out a wheelchair. They definitely give me the VIP treatment because we all know if I have any breath and y'all didn't treat me right, I'm going to have to burn this shit down. But she parks my car. I get checked in. And then my best friend gets there. And who comes into the room but my manager? And she's sitting. Who asked you to come here, Legion? I heard you were in labor. Okay, so you know what this bitch says? I noticed there's no father here. Girl, if you don't leave,
Trying to do white supremacy things at a moment like that.
Girl, if you don't, girl, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. She tried so hard to fuck with my money. Girl. So y'all want to tell us that you want peace when you come home? Oh, really? Do you? Well, you don't know what I'm dealing with every fucking day and you don't care. You don't care. So I don't have it for y'all. I just don't. I just don't have it. And I've seen black woman after black woman go through this same exact shit. And I'm done. I'm over you. I don't understand your purpose. I really just don't. So I give birth to my child. My baby is so big, even a month early, that she rips me both ways. When they went to put in the what's it called in your back?
Oh, the epidural.
Epidural.
When they went to put in the epidural, they missed the first time. And I don't know if y'all know what it's like, but you're having contractions and you will feel like you're splitting apart between the time you got maybe IV medicine, if you're not that far advanced with your cervix, and the time that you get that put in, you are in excruciating pain.
Yeah.
Like you're being torn apart by two different horses. And then you have to sit on the side of the bed with your body folded over a huge baby, and you have to be completely still
And
while you're having contractions.
My second baby, the lady came in and the vibes was just off. Like she just felt like a student or something. Because you know how they bring them other people in and we're here to what? Okay. And you playing around in my spine. Like I feel you moving around. And it just wasn't. I have a, I don't know if that's a keloid because I can't see it, but I have like a bubble from where she did. This was for my second daughter. I have a little bubble right here on my spine from that particular epidural. Now, mind you, the first one I probably had the benefit, and I didn't think about it like this at the time. My mother is a labor and delivery nurse, and I went down south to where she lived to have my first daughter. So they were all her friends. And, so I got very, good care for my first daughter. But my second one,
yeah. And this is what we encounter as Black women. You know what I'm saying? And even when we have the so-called good Black man, they haven't read up on nothing. They don't know. They're dependent on you, the person going through the delivery and the giving birth, to do whatever. So see, when my cousin says later to me in later years, listen, Jesus was in the room. No, he wasn't. He wasn't in the room. The nigga wasn't there, and neither was Jesus. But I tell you who was in the room. Me. I tell you who else was in the room. One of my best friends, a Black L&D nurse. I tell you who else was in the room. My best friend, a Black woman. I tell you who else was in the room. My best friend's daughter, who we were trying to make sure that she saw a delivery and didn't want to have kids for a very long time. See, that's who was in the room. So don't come here and tell me to give credit to some fucking male. Listen, they didn't buy the house that I bought for my children by the time my daughter was 14 months old either. That was me, the single Black mother. The one that all of you motherfuckers think you want to put down. You want to haul me in front of the tribunal and tell me I'm not shit and that I'm foul and I'm defective. You wanna beat the fuck out of Black pregnant women. You want to put guns to our bellies. literal guns. You want to terrorize us. And that's what you do. And now you got the internet and you do it at large. You declared war. And when you declared war on my baby, did I tell you I was going to be ready for you? I'm ready. I'm ready. This is the shit that we don't talk about because we're just trying to make it to the next fucking day. We are trying to create a realm for our children. We are trying to create a peace for our children. And then we have all of these voices coming. Well, you should be working with okay, my mother. Well, what if he decides he wants to see the baby later? And I'm that was just before I had her, so I was like, what?
Who gives a hot goddamn what he want to see and when?
But see, it'd be your own. It'd be your own because she has a history of eating my pain.
Oh, well, that's right.
Huh?
That's right. Your
So
mother
why
just
would
said
she
it's
be any different now?
Yeah.
And
Never
so
mind.
she says this to me, and I said, no, I'm not going to be doing that. And she says, well, I guess you're not as evolved as you think you are. Here's a rule. Here's a rule. Don't expect or come and tell me or write any policy about me and laws that become enforceable by hook or crook or violence or whatever. Don't do that shit for things you unwilling to do yourself. Don't do it. If you talking shit and you doing the whole most and you eating off our pain and you working to ensure that we suffer, because I'm going to tell y'all, that's what the Heritage Foundation has written out. And if we sit here and we act like it's not happening, it's a clear and present threat to specifically us as Black women because they named us. Single Black mothers are the fucking problem when it comes to family. And we will not have it. Our second problem is the LGBTQ community, and we will not have it. Now, I don't know what y'all think that means based on these people's history, but what it means is they came up with a final solution within those 920 pages. And y'all want to tell me what? Because we still are not getting together as Black women to really take all of these incredible, brilliant minds that we have, that we are going to work for other people and making them money off of our talents. And then we're giving them the credit, just like we do these fucking Black men. And then you want us to what? So I'm supposed to love on you and get with you while you are literally drawing my blood and drinking it? No, I'm not doing that. I'm not. And I've learned enough to know better. We have got to start having solutions. We have got to take action, because y'all will all be sitting here in a year talking about, oh, well, can you believe what they're doing? Can you believe that if I heard one person, I heard 18 quadrillion. Oh my goodness. They took away Roe versus Wade. Oh, you ain't seen nothing. You've seen nothing, honey. These people literally cooked us and took pictures by our burning bodies, and they brought their children so they could eat their children's souls at the same time. And you want to tell me what, as a warrior, a goddess-born warrior, what is it you think you're telling me? Okay, question.
Okay. Now, this is good because actually, this is how brilliant we are. We covered almost all the questions that we had to ask. Almost all of them. We've gotten all the way down to like 8.5. Challenge is we're a little bit. Is it all right, Auntie Love, if we asked Quianna to come back? Because we didn't cover everything. But I do see in the private chat that you got to go and feed that beautiful child of yours. And I got to go meet some kids too in like 5 minutes. Can we do a part 2, Auntie Love?
I would love to do a part 2. I know. I told you I will take any opportunity to talk with you.
I love you, girl.
Is it okay to do a part 2? Because if y'all watch Noir Aunties, we can't do no 3 hours. This is not even Noir Aunties compliant because the issues that we're discussing.
I felt so bad. I'm just like, mind you, I normally start cooking around like 6:30. But I'm like, let me, like that. But I'm like, no, I gotta go and make her something to eat and get her, set up.
Just wait, because it's later back there than
and everything. So
yeah, because it's 8 o'clock you are, and I've got to go because I have a hard 5 with because trying to minister. I don't have any natural born children, but yeah, we are. So, but can we do a part 2 though? Can we schedule a part 2?
Yeah,
because there are still some things.
I'm gonna email you like.
I know.
I'm gonna email you because I'm not saying. I need.
No, listen. I like that you are so on your stuff because it made me feel like I gotta be on my stuff. I don't want to disappoint them. I want to make sure. So go ahead, email me as much as you need to, and I will respond every single time. I will sit.
I need to, because I'll be in there behind the scenes. Okay, can you do this? But can you do that?
Yeah.
But can you? Okay. So,
and I know what my schedule is now.
Okay.
For certain. So. I go to school Mondays and Wednesdays. And the funny part about it was I was so worried about today because after I already solidified today with you, I realized my daughter has voice lessons at school on Wednesdays too. So she normally doesn't leave. I usually pick her up around the time you were like, oh, we're going to be in the green room. So I was like worried about it all week. But I told her, look, you're just going to have to leave early. I'm going to come get you, before the lesson is over. You'll get like half of it. But when I got there, they said he didn't come that day, today.
Okay.
So I'm like, good. I don't have to feel bad. Like I'm making you miss it, but now I know we could do Tuesday, Thursday. Those are the days.
That'll work better. It actually turned out that I was able to have this room today because my sister picked up a different job today. So we were supposed to be here. Obviously,
that's what I said. I said, "Look at God." When we were getting on the bus, came right on time. Everything. I was like, "Look at God."
We were supposed to be here.
So we're gonna do a part 2. Okay, can we just tentatively make it in February because I'm looking at the chat and so part 2. When is that? Part 2. Come on.
Yeah, it's gonna need to be in February. Okay, so
we can do it behind the scenes. I just want to give a little. Right. I just want to give us a heads up before I get
I'm
with
trying
y'all.
to say I'm looking at my calendar now, and
because
I gotta check sister's room schedule but I know the 2nd or 3rd week of February, maybe the 15th or 16th might be possible. 2 weeks from now. The 8th. No, wait. Well, we'll have to go behind the scenes, but let's try to pick up soon.
Okay.
Just because this was really, I have to go process what I learned today.
I saw a few things where I'm like, okay, she's going to come back with something on that. Cause I saw you when you rolled your neck,
there was some things when she said the part about the Methodist, y'all, I don't know if y'all see what's going on with these open predators in these churches. I don't know if y'all saw TD Jakes on screen with all that No.
Yeah.
See, we at a point where we almost gonna have to just like be like going to drop squad on some of these churched women and be like, no, we can't do no.
Yeah, because that's
There
one of
was
my
so much.
concerns.
There was so
That
much when we talk about solutions that we
Yeah.
still need to. That's why I say, can we do a part 2? Because
I
we
like it that it went like this though, because this is, I feel like, a solid basis and foundation. Like everybody is either talking at people and saying, oh, you just need to be better and you just need to level up and you just need to do whatever, or they're not really taking the time to help people like process and unpack, and I like to use the word metabolize what they're actually going through. Because like I said, sitting with you and watching you loved live those things you were going through, and it took me to those places where I was in those moments and remembering like having those big, huge, earth-shattering, paradigm shifting feelings, but not being able to process them to be like, okay, where am I supposed to put this, and what am I supposed to do with this, and what can I glean from this to help me? You're just surviving. And so you have this big thing and you're carrying this big thing with you, and you're just moving on, and the big things keep happening because you still got that stuff going on in the background messing up everything.
You never have time to breathe.
It's just like it's important, I think, to contextualize just how impactful these types of occurrences are to Black women and thusly our children, because then I think we'll take the time. We don't get the time and take the time to, like, again, get to that balanced level to even know what your default is. Because I try to speak so much more about you being the tuning fork of your own life. So many times we're always trying to fit ourselves in somewhere. So that's where that please love me so I have value thing comes in, as opposed to being like, I am the anchor of my life. So everything that is going on with me needs to be the center of what. So if you don't fit with what's going on here, if you're not resonating, if you're knocking me off of my vibration, then you need to go. I don't need to change. I don't need to be better. I don't need to be whatever. You need to go.
Yes.
So speaking of needing to go,
okay. Yes. So we're gonna get behind the scenes, everybody. Listen, we love you, and I want you all to look up the mental health study
it's in the chat, y'all.
about. And I also want you to read Project 2025. I know it's 920 pages, but they got some serious violent plans for us as Black women. Hold on, let me see if I can and our LGBTQ babies. And so I need us to do this, because when we come back for part 2, another part of what we're going to do is solutions.
Yeah. Okay, hold on, let me see if I can pull that out of the Discord.
Right? So homework.
And if you didn't add that too, for the people that are coming in the after, maybe you can put that in the description.
Yeah, because it's way back in the Discord. I can't find it right now, but it could come into the description, or y'all could just look up Heritage Foundation Project 2025. It is publicly available. And then sit down and don't do this at night and don't operate heavy equipment, because this is gonna blow your mind. You think the Confederacy and Nazism is over.
They have a final solution all planned, and they wrote it because they are like, oh, they're not going to read it. No one's going to read it. No, but we are, and we're going to have a counteroffensive. Look at our we got books up. Y'all see these books? But because this is a party homework too. This one and Seize the Bull Run. Yeah.
Get your mind right with that one, and then get your money right with this one.
Yes, and on Amazon, it's in the description. Please everyone, please purchase this, because we're gonna do a part 2, and I want all of you to come back with some solutions. We can't, the 3. Okay, and we're gonna talk about an auntiehood, Miss Quianna. over here. A Noir auntie hood. That's what we're gonna talk about. Okay. Okay. Don't. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, I'm trying to find it, but I can't. Y'all look up Quianna Footman on Amazon and stop playing.
But
Y'all
it's
know
in
how
the
we know how to do
description.
this.
How about this? I'll simplify it for you. All of my links, if you go to my YouTube channel, all of my links are in my description of my page. So like
It's in
right
the
under
description of this. What are you?
Oh, okay, that's
also
right. It's in the
Yes.
description of the
But I'll
live.
just say
Yes,
anything and everything.
everything.
If you get lost, if you're not
Everything.
sure or whatever, and you just happen to wind up on Level Up Single Moms page, you can always find all my information there.
Yes. Yes. Please do. Please do. We love y'all. Thank you so much. We'll be back for part 2.
And we'll be
We need
back
y'all
soon to
tomorrow.
finish
So
this.
remember, we need y'all solutions. We
That'll
need
be
to come
the next
need
show will be
different
like, okay, we see what the
perspectives.
problems are, but
What
we
are we
now
going to
need.
do about it? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll take. I think 7, 8, and 9 would make a good show by themselves. Actually, okay. So,
Okay, great.
All right,
y'all,
Quianna, bye, Kiki. Love you, Key. I
Love you
just
all.
love what you've done. Oh my God. I'm so thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so
guys.
much
Thank
for
you.
everything.
And I just want you guys have been inspirations and lighthouses for me too in like anchoring myself in my mission and what I want to do and being integral in all of that. So thank you all as well.
All right.
We'll be back.
See y'all later.
Everybody have a good
Bye.
night.
Good night,
Love
everybody.
y'all. Thank you, everyone. Vito, thank you so much for coming, everyone.
All right, you ended.